Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our collective salutations to the Almighty, revered elders, devotees from across the globe, staff and students, good morning and welcome to the One World, One Family World Cultural Festival. The Chilean poet and Nobel laureate Pablo Neruda once wrote, "You can cut all the flowers, but you cannot keep spring from coming." These words reflect an eternal truth that resilience, hope, and renewal are born from the spirit that refuses to be subdued. Sadhguru has beautifully echoed this wisdom through his life, showing that no matter the trials we face, when we serve selflessly and live with faith, goodness always blossoms anew. Today, we celebrate Chile, a land of breathtaking contrasts and unyielding spirit. It is a country where nature paints its grandeur in every direction and where the warmth of its people bring light even to the coldest mountains. Its people embody endurance, rising with courage from every challenge, embracing progress without losing touch with their roots. In their unity, humility, and humanitarian spirit, the people of Chile reminds us that strength lies not in standing alone, but in standing together. Through the resilience of heart, they truly embody the essence of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one world, one family. As part of the Universal Wisdom for a United World lecture series, we are honored to welcome Father Victor Andres Godoy Martinez. Father Victor Andres Godoy Martinez is a devoted diocesan priest from Valparaiso, Chile, whose life reflects deep faith, compassion, and service. He brings over a decade of dedicated pastoral work and community engagement. After entering the major diocesan seminary of Lo Vasquez in 2003, he completed his philosophical and theological studies and earned a bachelor's degree in theology from the Pontifical Catholic University of Chile. Ordained in 2011, Father Victor has since guided parishes with warmth and commitment. He currently serves as a priest in 2 parishes in Valparaiso. Since 2017, he has also been the diocesan advisor for prison ministry, offering spiritual and emotional care to inmates and supporting lay movements and youth through his pastoral guidance. A qualified clinical psychologist since 2024, Father Victor brings a compassionate and holistic approach to his ministry. His pastoral sensitivity, dedication to social justice, and unwavering faith continue to inspire and uplift the lives of those he serves. Father Victor Andres Godoy Martinez's talk will be played through a video. May we have the video, please?
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas a todas y a todos que están reunidos allá en India. Me llamo Víctor Andrés Godoy Martínez, soy sacerdote católico de la quinta región de Valparaíso, acá en Chile. Tengo 13 años de sacerdote y desde que entré a la formación son ya 22 años que estoy viviendo en esta condición como casi sacerdote. Mis responsabilidades actuales acá en mi diócesis de Valparaíso, soy bipárroco, tengo a cargo 2 parroquias. Una es la parroquia de la Matriz, la primera parroquia o la más antigua de Valparaíso y la segunda de mi diócesis, y también una parroquia en un cerro de Valparaíso llamado Playa Ancha el Cerro, mi parroquia Jesús el Buen Pastor. Además, tengo también algunas otras responsabilidades, dentro de esas las que destaco el que soy el sacerdote asesor de la pastoral carcelaria de Valparaíso, lo que me implica estar vinculado a la cárcel, particularmente que está en Valparaíso, y a aquellos hermanitos y hermanitas que voluntariamente como agentes pastorales van a la cárcel. Y también quizás en algo que aporta desde profesión, recientemente hace 1 año y medio, titulado de psicólogo, así que también es una herramienta que me permite poder colaborar en los espacios en los que estoy. Bueno, quiero mandarles este video en primer lugar también agradeciendo la oportunidad de poder brindarles este mensaje, esta reflexión, sabiendo el espacio y la jornada que están desarrollando, en donde un hermano, amigo mío, está ahí presente. Y desde la perspectiva de lo que quisiera quizás compartir como reflexión con ustedes, quisiera titularla de alguna manera en torno a algo que como de lo que vivo, lo que soy, un cristiano católico, sacerdote, nosotros como iglesia en el mundo entero, cristiana católica, estamos celebrando un año jubilar. El año jubilar es un tiempo que se da cada 25 años, en donde se intensifica algo y especialmente se intensifica o se intenciona el amor y el perdón de Dios. Y en esa línea, el lema de este año jubilar es Peregrinos de Esperanza. Y quisiera por eso esta reflexión compartida con ustedes, titularla quizás desde ahí, Peregrinos de Esperanza, en una ciudad, en una sociedad que de alguna manera puede pensarse un poquito fragmentada desde la perspectiva del fenómeno social y de aquellos que nos ayudan a comprender los fenómenos sociales, nos vamos dando cuenta que existe esta globalización y esta posibilidad también de interconexiones. Esto mismo que yo pueda estar haciendo con ustedes, de enviarles este video desde tanta distancia en kilómetros, es una gran ventaja y una gran herramienta, es un gran avance en nuestra sociedad. Y junto con ello, aparentemente también nos encontramos con algunos elementos de fragmentación, de división en nuestra sociedad. Y volviendo a la idea de que lo que quiero plantearle y compartirles muy sencillamente es desde donde me paro, desde lo que soy, me defino un seguidor de Jesús y en esa línea mi mirada desde la fe en Él y de mi Maestro hace mucho sentido enseñanzas que Él dejó en su palabra, en sus evangelios. Quisiera traer a colación, por ejemplo, lo mismo el que él dijo, el no vine a ser servido, sino a servir. Y cómo eso tendría que ser un aliciente para aquellos que hemos adherido, en este caso, a Jesús. Pero sabiendo que en un contexto global en donde diferentes confesiones, diferentes ideologías, también podemos ponernos en la misma sintonía y podemos trabajar juntos en el fin propio de querer servir, de no solamente eh, tributar hacia nosotros mismos, de no solamente buscar nuestras propias conveniencias, sino especialmente también del servir, la de salir de nosotros hacia los demás. En esta línea creo yo que me hace mucho sentido un mensaje que también alguien muy importante en nuestro último tiempo como Iglesia Cristiana Católica Mundial, el Papa Francisco la Jornada Mundial del 2013, le decía a los jóvenes en torno a cómo plantearse en la sociedad, eh, le da esta mirada de dos pasajes bíblicos del Evangelio de Jesús, y en donde él decía, si ustedes se mueven en torno a estas dos realidades, efectivamente vamos a transformar el mundo. Y una era Mateo 5, que se conoce ese texto bíblico como las bienaventuranzas, en donde es tremendamente potente ese mensaje porque habla de felices los, y en ese felices los eh, son curiosas o a lo mejor eh, extrañas esas felicidades. Parte diciendo, por ejemplo, Jesús, felices los pobres porque de ellos es el reino de los cielos. Son segmentos que aparentemente no tienen lo que nuestra sociedad nos empuja o lo que nuestra sociedad del bienestar nos muestra. Eh, Aquí se le da énfasis a aquellos que nada tienen, po. Felices los pobres porque de ellos es el reino de los cielos, o felices los que buscan la paz porque serán llamados hijos de Dios, eh, felices los que lloran porque serán consolados. En esta propuesta de Jesús, aquellos que adherimos a Él y también como una posibilidad de construir sociedad juntos con otros, eh, está la atención a aquel que menos tiene, aquel que está sufriendo, y en esa línea, por eso este pasaje es tan importante. Y lo otro es también en esta misma lógica, otro, en el discurso que Papa Francisco da a estos jóvenes, está lo de, si ustedes lo hicieron con estos más pequeños, conmigo lo hicieron. Y eso es Mateo 25. Ahí en ese pasaje bíblico eh, se nos muestra en una historia cómo eh, Jesús sostiene que cuando tuve hambre me diste de comer, cuando tuve sed me diste de beber, cuando estuve preso me visitaste. Eh, y vuelve a la lógica. Aquellos que menos tienen, en ellos se hace una presencia de este Jesús que para aquellos que hemos adherido a Él es tremendamente potente encontrarlo ahí. Y vuelvo al hecho, desde la perspectiva de estas colaboraciones y de este mundo globalizado, de estas diferentes confesionalidades, desde estas diferentes vertientes, reflexiones, qué interesante es poder pararnos también desde ahí. Creo que lo que también ustedes como organización están realizando y por lo que yo me he enterado, este homenaje que le rinden a mi hermano amigo Patricio Eas va en esa línea del poder hacer humanidad y de poder entregar dignidad a aquellos que menos lo tienen, que menos lo tienen. Eh, por eso también quisiera compartir con ustedes que esto que les planteo desde el Evangelio de Jesús, para nosotros como Iglesia Cristiana Católica, se convierte en una doctrina y por eso tendríamos que, aquellos que pertenecemos a esta institución, a esta Iglesia Cristiana Católica, eh, adherir y ir frecuentemente también a lo que se llama la doctrina social de la Iglesia. En este caso es una luz para un compromiso. Es decir, no solamente creemos, en este caso, en fe, en algo religioso, sino que eso se va materializando en la búsqueda de una sociedad justa, solidaria, centrada en la dignidad humana. Eh, Ha sido tremendamente potente y vuelvo al hecho de decirlo desde lo que yo soy y lo que voy escuchando, que mis autoridades eclesiásticas, los pastores de la Iglesia Católica, los últimos papas, mis obispos, hacen mención muy fuerte a justamente esta búsqueda de la dignidad humana en todas las dimensiones de la vida, desde la concepción hasta el final. Y en ese sentido creo que tenemos mucho que hacer y estamos muy al debe efectivamente en nuestra sociedad. Traer a la realidad eh, países de extrema pobreza, traer a colación situaciones de guerra que hoy día se están dando, genocidios como por ejemplo el que se está dando en Gaza, nos muestra que nos falta un tramo tremendo para poder eh, generar dignidades humanas. Eh, en lo personal me genera mucho dolor el saber y conocer algo del sufrimiento de los inocentes, parcialmente los niños. Eh, Estas migraciones que se van dando en donde se tienen que recorrer kilómetros y kilómetros para buscar un mejor bienestar, en donde al menos lo que se alcanza solamente es estar en una tierra aparentemente mejor, pero con todo lo que eso implica no puede dejarnos indiferentes. Hay una justicia que hay que seguir construyendo. En ese sentido, la doctrina social de la Iglesia nos recuerda justamente que la fe no se vive solo o en lo íntimo, no es algo que queda en mí solamente, sino que se va encarnando y se va desarrollando en estructuras, se va desarrollando en toma de decisiones, en relaciones. Esto mismo que ustedes están haciendo y darme la posibilidad de hablar como un miembro de la Iglesia Cristiana Católica y saber que este discurso lo van a estar escuchando personas de diferentes confesiones, es justamente lo que la doctrina de la Iglesia Católica nos invita a estas relaciones fructíferas, a estas relaciones luminosas, a estas relaciones que van dando fruto para un bienestar mundial, el bien común. Justamente la opción preferencial por los pobres son temáticas que en la doctrina social de la Iglesia están muy presentes y que aquellos que somos miembros de esta Iglesia tendríamos que estar actuando, tendríamos que estar desarrollando. Es tremendamente triste en ese sentido y haciendo un mea culpa entre todos los que pertenecemos a la Iglesia, el ver que muchas veces no lo hacemos. Vivimos eh, contrariamente a lo que profesamos. Ahí se ven nuestras incongruencias, incoherencias, nuestra falta de testimonio. La subsidiariedad, la solidaridad son pilares también de esta doctrina social de la Iglesia y que van interpelando en lo cotidiano, en el día a día. Y eso creo que también es un gran motor para poder seguir trabajando en torno a la dignidad humana, a la dignidad social. En torno a esto que ustedes desarrollan y a esta posibilidad también del vínculo de diferentes confesiones religiosas, creo que el camino del ecumenismo y lo interreligioso es un camino de unidad. El saber que nuestras búsquedas trascendentales tienen como finalidad una divinidad, una trascendentalidad que al menos se define casi en su mayoría desde el amor. En ese sentido, en un mundo dividido, este diálogo de las diferentes confesiones es un signo de esperanza, eh, que no se ve más en la historia pugnas por credos religiosos, por confesionalidades. Nuestro Dios no va por ese lado. Es un Dios en donde nos invitamos a reconocernos en el otro como un hermano, más allá justamente de los credos, poder construir puentes donde antes había muros, donde antes había cortes, donde antes no había tránsitos, ahí poder estrechar las relaciones. De hecho, para nosotros como cristianos, y digo como cristianos en un modo amplio, es interesante ver que Jesús mismo oró para que todos sean uno. Y en ese sentido, hoy más que nunca se requiere esa unidad, es urgente. Eh, Situaciones de guerra, situaciones de hambruna, situaciones de pobreza extrema, situaciones de falta de casa, de hogar, de migraciones, requieren unidad. Y en ese sentido, este ecumenismo y lo interreligioso efectivamente son caminos de unidad y de mucha esperanza. Eh, También quizás compartirle dentro de los conocimientos que uno puede tener y sobre todo de las vivencias, de las experiencias en las cuales uno va desenvolviéndose. Uno pues, se encuentra efectivamente con miradas críticas respecto de la sociedad actual. Eh, si lo miráramos de la perspectiva negativa y de aquellos que son como menos valores, eh, efectivamente podemos considerar que está este individualismo que nos va aislando, en algunas sociedades más quizá occidentalizadas, como la mía, como la nuestra, eh, este de buscar el bienestar personal y de tu grupo más cercano y olvidarte del resto. Aparentemente este individualismo está bien presente y nos aísla. Los deseos de poder que corrompen, insisto, en estos afanes históricos siempre de guerra y de conquistas, finalmente se van colando estos deseos de poder y que se pueden ver a nivel global, pero también se pueden ver a nivel más micro, más local, en nuestras mismas comunidades, en nuestros mismos vecindarios, cómo el deseo de poder nos va envenenando muchas veces y al otro, como lo decimos desde el mundo del cristianismo, al prójimo, ya no lo vemos como un hermano, los vemos como un enemigo. Y cómo eso está también presente. La falta de empatía y de solidaridad también creo yo que es algo que se hace presente en nuestra sociedad y que efectivamente generan una exclusión bastante grande. Eh, Hoy día, particularmente, y lo hablo de mi realidad chilena, hay personas que reflexionan sobre el fenómeno social y nos dicen que estamos en una crisis grande y creo yo que estamos invitados y llamados a, a marginarnos de eso o más que marginarnos, a romper eso. Y la falta de confianza, a mi juicio, se construye con poner confianzas, con romper y correr el cerco. Un gran desafío. La deshumanización nos hace olvidar que cada persona es imagen de Dios, cómo mirar al otro con esa presencia trascendental también de que en el otro está esa presencia de Dios, esa como huella digital de Dios. Y por eso toda persona, no importa su condición social, su raza, su color de piel, su religión, nada puede hacer que en una persona no veamos dignidad porque hay una presencia de Dios ahí. Eh, También desde la perspectiva de las posibilidades del servicio, se ve carencia de servicio. Eh, Pareciera ser que a veces en estas búsquedas ya tan justamente del propio bienestar está el cansancio ya de haberlo logrado, pero ya no tengo más fuerzas como para seguir eh, luchando o abogando por otros. Y sin embargo, en toda esta cultura con algunos rasgos negativos se van viendo signos tremendamente de esperanza. Y quizá desde ahí eh, hay una cita de Jesús en donde él dice que hay que morir para vivir. Es como el grano de trigo que cae en tierra y muere y da mucho fruto. Y ese morir tal vez es morir al egoísmo, morir al miedo, morir a la indiferencia. Y yo ahí sí veo signos de esperanza, porque por ejemplo esto mismo que ustedes están haciendo es un signo de esperanza, es un signo de que se pueden hacer las cosas distintas, de que existen instituciones que hacen cosas distintas. Y en esa línea de lo que también les decía al comienzo de nuestro año jubilar cristiano católico, somos peregrinos de esperanza. Hay esperanza y aquí comentarles o compartirles algunas vivencias que hemos tenido. Acá en Valparaíso, en mi querido puerto, en mi parroquia, en una de mis parroquias, tenemos un comedor ropero eh, emblemático y que se dedica a dar raciones de comida diarias, todos los días, todos los días. Estamos en este momento dando 270 raciones diarias de comida a personas que van a pedir comida, personas en condiciones de calle, personas que tienen dificultades económicas o incluso personas que a lo mejor no tienen condiciones precarias, pero sí un plato de comida les permite solventar o disminuir parte de sus gastos. En el ropero le podamos dar una ducha caliente a aquel que está en condición de calle, a aquel que tiene su ropa sucia, poder lavársela. Como sacerdote de la pastoral carcelaria también puedo contarles que la pastoral carcelaria hace presencia en las cárceles, eh, gente voluntaria que quiere ir a ver al preso, al interno, a la interna, en donde no vamos con una mirada de juicio, sino que vamos con una mirada de cercanía y de decir, sabes que tú eres valioso y tú eres más grande que tu propio delito. Vamos, levántate, confiamos en ti. Y también creemos que podemos salir adelante juntos. Eh, Instituciones mundiales como Cáritas, nosotros acá en Valparaíso tenemos a Cáritas Valparaíso y hacen una tremenda labor. Hemos tenido problemas con el tema de los incendios, hemos tenido problemas con el tema de la drogodependencia, de las familias con vulnerabilidad, de la violencia, y en todos esos espacios, instituciones como Cáritas también se hace presente. En este momento estamos en Chile a través de Cáritas haciendo una prevención también por el tema de la narcocultura y la prevención con las drogodependencias. Y es una lucha tremenda que tenemos que dar. Y en ese sentido la estamos tratando de dar con pasitos pequeños. Eh, Creo yo, y también aquí como ya para cerrando este mensaje, hay figuras que para nosotros son emblemáticas. Eh, Personalmente hay alguien que es un santo de la iglesia, que es Carlos de Foucault, y que él intentó vivir el Evangelio en medio de los Tuareg en el Sahara y siendo un hermano más. Y en ese sentido creo que la fraternidad es un tremendo, tremendo signo de transformación. Y en ese sentido creo que la fraternidad universal es posible vivirla. Em, por eso creo que si es como un deseo de dejar un mensaje final, mi propuesta sería que no diluyamos el mensaje radical del amor. El mensaje radical del amor es el que transforma, un amor que no es tibio, un amor que no es negociable, es un amor que se entrega, es un amor que incomoda, es un amor que transforma. Y nuestra misión de vivirla con valentía, sin miedo al rechazo ni a la incomprensión, y aún estando a veces esos miedos, ¿cómo podemos superarlos? Creo que estamos tremendamente llamados y desafiados en nuestra sociedad a poder vivirlo así. Y finalmente, creo yo que como el Papa Francisco también lo citaba, ha sido un tremendo regalo para nosotros como iglesia y también creo que para el mundo entero, esta figura de la sinodalidad, esta figura de que todos somos importantes, que nadie se puede quedar afuera. Y el Papa Francisco le decía justamente a los jóvenes el 2013 en la Jornada Mundial de la Juventud: sean valientes, no tengan miedo de ir contracorriente. Creo, queridos amigos y amigas, que estamos llamados a ir contracorriente, luchando en torno al amor, uniendo las fuerzas para una mayor dignidad y una mayor humanidad, y en donde todos y todas, desde cada una de nuestras posturas, desde nuestras veredas, desde nuestras ideas, desde nuestras confesionalidades, podemos hacer que nuestro mundo sea mucho mejor. Les dejo un gran abrazo, muchas bendiciones, oro por ustedes, también pido que oren por mí y a seguir construyendo un mundo más digno. Muchas bendiciones y gracias también por homenajear a mi amigo hermano Patricio Beas. Cuídense, bendiciones.
We express our gratitude to Father Victor Andres Godoy Martinez for sharing his wisdom from Chile with us this morning. Now, we shall have a short break and reconvene for Satya Darpan.
गजानना हे गजानना हे गजानना गजानना हे गजानना हे गजानना गौरी नंदन गजानना गौरी नंदन गजानना हे गजानना हे गजानना हे शिवनंदन जय जगवंदना हे शिवनंदन जय जगवंदना विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका परम निरंजन मूषिकवाहन परम निरंजन मूषिकवाहन पतिपुरीश्वर गजानना पतिपुरीश्वर गजानना गजानना हे गजानना हे गजानना गौरी नंदन गजानना गजानना हे गजानना हे गजानना हे शिवनंदन जय जगवंदना जय जगवंदना विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका बुद्धि प्रदायका परम निरंजन मूषिकवाहन परम निरंजन मूषिकवाहन पतिपुरीश्वर गजानना पतिपुरीश्वर गजानना गजानना हे गजानना कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्ण कृष्ण माधवा श्याम गोपाला जय मधुसूदन जय नंदलाला जय मधुसूदन जय नंदलाला जय मधुसूदन जय नंदलाला झूलन झूले मेरे साई नंदलाला झूलन झूले मेरे साई नंदलाला कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्णा कृष्ण माधव साई हरे वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला वृंदावन संचारी श्याम गोपाला जय मधुसूदन जय नंदलाला जय मधुसूदन जय नंदलाला झूलन झूले मेरे साई नंदलाला झूलन झूले मेरे साई नंदलाला कृष्ण माधवा माधव कृष्णा
जय जय रघुनंदना जय जानकी जीवना जय जय रघुनंदना जय जानकी जीवना जय जय रघुनंदना जय जानकी जीवना राजीवदल लो
ब्रह्मांड नायका बाबा
पांडनायका बाबा
ब्रह्मांड नायका बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा
पांडनायका बाबा
चांद और सूरज तुमने बनाए
और सूरज तुमने बनाए
नदिया सागर तुमने बनाए
सागर तुमने बनाए
नदिया सागर तुमने बनाए
नदिया सागर तुमने बनाए
ब्रह्मांड नायका बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा
पांडनायका बाबा त्रिपुरेश्वर बाबा
अयोध्या नगरी तुमने बनाई द्वारका नगरी तुमने बसाई
नगरी तुमने बनाई द्वारका नगरी तुमने बसाई
अयोध्या नगरी तुमने बनाई द्वारका नगरी तुमने बसाई
नगरी तुमने बनाई द्वारका नगरी तुमने बसाई
शिरडी परती तुमने बनाई शिरडी परती तुमने बनाई ब्रह्मांड नायका बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा चांद और सूरज तुमने बनाए
सूरज तुमने बनाए
नदिया सागर तुमने बनाए
सागर तुमने बनाए
नदिया सागर तुमने बनाए
सागर तुमने बनाए
ब्रह्मांड नायका बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा
पांडनायका बाबा
अयोध्या नगरी तुमने बनाई द्वारका नगरी तुमने बसाई
नगरी तुमने बनाई द्वारका नगरी तुमने बसाई
शिरडी परती तुमने बनाई
श्रीपति तुमने बनाई
शिरडी परती तुमने बनाई
श्रीपति तुमने बनाई
ब्रह्मांड नायका बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा
Shri Sai Ram, offering our collective salutations at the lotus feet of our Master, Sadguru Shri Madhusudan Sai. Revered elders, devotees from across the globe, staff and students, a very good morning and welcome to Satya Darpan. Yesterday in his discourse, Sadhguru began the 10th chapter by emphasizing on the importance of engaging in this world objectively rather than subjectively. He reminded us that it is man's desire and anger that ultimately lead to his downfall and misfortune. He further urged that each individual must live in accordance with one's ashrama dharma, the duties appropriate to each stage of life, in harmony with the purusharthas, the four goals of human existence. Sadhguru beautifully explained that when one views the world as a dream or magical play, all the relationships and attachments appear transient and fleeting. He explained the third shloka which says, Yatra yatra bhavet trishna samsaram vidhi tatra vai praudha vairagyam ashritya vita trishna sukhi bhava. Meaning, where there is desire, know that to be a worldly bondage. Taking refuge in praudha vairagyam or mature dispassion, Sadhguru said that one can become free from desire and experience true happiness. We now pray to Sadhguru to bless us with his divine discourse on Ashtavakra Gita.
सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
In every religion and philosophy of the world, we hear this Shanti as the ultimate mantra. Everybody prays for peace. In India, we say Shanti, Shanti. Somebody says Shalom, somebody says peace unto you. In so many ways, everybody prays for each other's peace. Because peace is the most coveted spiritual treasure. Without that, one cannot function in the world or beyond effectively. A peaceful mind alone is capable of understanding the greater truths and thereby remain in a peaceful state. But what disturbs one's peace is a desire. Like a lake which is otherwise still, but if you throw a stone in it, it creates ripples and then it disturbs the lake and the peaceful waters. Likewise, Manasa Sarovara, we all know that when we think about Kailasha, we say Manasa Sarovara. That is basically the idea that unless you have a peaceful mind, Manasa Sarovar, the lake of your mind is absolutely peaceful. You cannot attain Kailasha. You cannot cross and go to Kailasha, which is the ultimate supreme abode. So keeping your mind peaceful is the most important spiritual sadhana. And where does this disturbance to peace come? It comes from some kind of desire, which will lead to some kind of action. That action will lead to the expectations of the outcomes. That will lead to either joy or sorrow based on the kind of outcome that you experience. So it all starts with one desire and goes all the way to outcomes, and thereby either you swing to the positive side of emotions or to the negative side of emotions, and finally you lose the peace and balance. So the most important mantra in all scriptures, that is why, is always about peace. Because without peace we cannot attain anything, and even if we attain anything we will not enjoy it because there is no peace. Many people come to us, especially to the ashrams, to Gurujis, to Swamijis. They have so much in their lives, they don't lack anything. They have the wealth that they worked for and they earned. They have name, position, fame, family, relations. All that they can ask for they have. But they come and ask me, Swami, give me peace of mind. Give me man ki shanti. Give me peace of mind, they ask. Then I ask them, It is very simple. Bhagavan used to say, I want peace. Remove I, remove want, and all you have is peace. So peace is already there, but it is covered with these two things, I and want, which is what the Ashtavakra Gita is teaching us. I is the sense of ego, identification with the body, and want is all the desires that come from this wrong identification. Avidya, Kama, and Karma. This is what we know, the cycle of confusion and illusion. Avidya is wrong knowledge, Kama is wrong desire, and Karma is the wrong action that follows all these two. And that leads to wrong outcomes. And then it leads to disturbance of all the peace. So avidya, it means wrong desire alone is the reason for all the issues that we face in the world. Because we identify ourselves with this body and we think this body needs to be made happy, satisfied, and then we keep running behind one pleasure or the other because that is the only way the body feels happy. And then the mind above that, again to satisfy the mind, our ego, our identity, we do so many things. So continuously this karmic cycle goes on and on and on. One karma leads to another, another leads to one another, and this cycle continues to go on. It doesn't stop. So in the coming shlokas, while in the previous ones we learned that all the relationships in our lives are temporary and transient, who can never say that this relation will remain forever? Even though people marry and they take pledges, 7 vows, and they say we should become soulmates for the next 7 lifetimes. But it is only a way to say that we shall stay committed in this relation, but it does not guarantee anything. It does not guarantee anything. One thing that is definitely guaranteed is that whatever karma you do during this life, that will lead you to another life with the same set or another set of people depending on what your karmas have been. So Bhagavan used to say, Karma dati vasama naruda, can you ever cross this bondage of karma? Ganapatambalu chadivina gani, kaad adavulake poyina gani, katina tapassulle chesina gani, kula devatalunu kolachina gani, karma dati vasama naruda. Is it possible to overcome your actions and their results? Whether you study all the scriptures, Ganapatambu, all kinds of scriptures you study, or kaad adavilake poyina gani, go to forest and meditate in solitude, or katina tapassulle chesina gani, or you do all kinds of penance, or kula devatalunu kolachina gani, or you praise and pray to all your family deities. At the end of it, can you ever overcome the consequences of the karmas? Can karmas be ever overcome? He says, no, that's not possible. So while the origins of karma is the desire and wrong identification, in the previous shlokas, he told, don't wrongly identify yourself with the body and the relationships that come with the body, whether it is husband, wives, children, or other relations, or the wealth that you accumulate using the body, or the name and fame that you amass. All of it is, none of this is real, none of this is permanent. Treat this as a dream or a magic show, which will only last a day or two, not beyond. Day or two means maybe 50 years to 100 years. But that's about it. The magic show ends at the end of it. And after that, everything goes away. So all these efforts are not going to lead you to any permanent joy and peace. So to be happy, Sukhi Bhava, he says, how do we Sukhi Bhava? The only way is Prauda Vairagyam you should develop, a sense of detachment, which is matured detachment, which is permanent. Not these temporary ones that come when we have setbacks in life. When somebody cheats us or somebody hurts us or we meet with failure, suddenly we develop this Vairagya. Remember Bhartrihari's Vairagya, who gave the fruit to his wife, the wife gave it to the commander-in-chief of the army, he gave it to a woman maid, and that lady finally gave it back to the king again, saying, this is the fruit that I would like you to have because you are the ruler and you must live long. And that gave a shock to Bhartrihari. And he realized what he was thinking, that his wife is true to him or his people are true to him, is all wrong. They were all selfish. They were here for a purpose, for a reason. And as long as that was being met, they were all looking nice to him, but then deep down they were not. So that gave him a shock, and that Vairagya happened to him. Bhartrihari's Vairagya Shatakam, which is 100 shlokas on the idea of Vairagya, was born out of this sudden shock in his life. So that kind of shocks may teach you some kind of Vairagya. But the true Vairagya comes not by shocks in life. not by shakes in life, not by these kind of sudden setbacks in life. True Vairagya comes from continuous contemplation on the truth. Continuous contemplation. That is why it is said, Tyaja Durjana Sansargam, Bhaja Sadhu Samagamam, Kuru Punya Mahoratram, Smaranityam Anityatam. By constant remembrance of what is real, what is unreal, what is true, what is not, what is temporary and what is permanent. That constant meditation and contemplation alone can lead us to real Vairagya. Like when you analyze this is a magic show and all the money that is being produced there by the magician is not real. How do you know that? Go pick up a note from there and go to some expert and check whether this is real or not. Go to the next shop and say, I want to buy something in exchange of this particular note that was produced by the magician. That shop fellow will tell you that this is not real. So do some analysis, do some vichara, that's what is the word, Atma Vichara, what our Ramana Maharshi would say. Do Atma Vichara, who am I, who am I, who am I? That will lead you ultimately to this wisdom that I am not the body, I am not the mind. And so detachment will naturally happen. Once you know that the currency that was produced in the magic show is not real, you can't buy a thing with it. Will you ever carry it in your pocket? You will just throw it into the dustbin. Why will you carry that bundle with you? Because it is not real. A lot of people have these fake notes. When the demonetization happened, a lot of people were stuck because they were holding huge cash and suddenly overnight they had to exchange it with some new currency, otherwise they were gone. But only so much you could exchange. The same 2000 rupee or whatever rupee note it was before that, in 2000 was one note that was demonetized. Suppose you had kept it with you after demonetization. Before demonetization, it had great value. But after demonetization, it was not even worth the paper on which it was printed. That is how once you realize that it is not true, would you ever hold on to the 2000 rupee note anymore? No. It is good for nothing, not even good for toilet paper. That is how you would think of it. But the same thing one night before or 2 nights before was so important for you. Likewise, when this Vairagyam happens by Atma Vichara, that this is not real, that helps you to become happy. Because then you see everything as a play, everything as a drama, a magic show, a dream. And you don't get involved so much in it. You watch it nevertheless. You don't reject it nor accept it. You just watch it for the what is the value of it, that's it. A magic show should be watched for entertainment. One cannot get involved in it, or one cannot say it's not real, so I am not going to come for a magic show. You just go there because it is an entertainment of some sorts and spend a good quality time and come back home without getting attached to any of the tricks, nor analyzing and judging and rejecting it. Both are not required. This world, the idea that you have to accept this world or you have to reject this world, both are immature Vairagya. Prauda Vairagya is there is no need to accept nor there is a need to reject. Both are immature Vairagya. Like this, some sannyasis there, I told those touch me not type of sannyasis. They don't touch me. I am a jnani. You cannot treat me like this. I am superior than thou, holier than thou. That idea of rejecting the world and becoming something better is also not real Vairagya. It's also because they are attached to their own self, their ideas, their identity, their personality, their name. Somewhere they have that ego. Similarly, if you look at the other side of things where people are so immersed in the world as if it is real, they are also fools only. Both. A very nice song is there, an old Hindi song. It keeps coming back to me. Now only I realized how philosophical were our songs. It says, संसार से भागे फिरते हो, भगवान को क्या तुम पाओगे, इस लोक को तो अपना न सके, उस लोक को क्या अपनाओगे. It says, you running away from the world in search of God. You could not accept the world, or you cannot take the world as it is. What will you find God elsewhere? And is lok ko to apna na sake, you could not accept this world. How will you even enjoy the other world, it says. If anything is there, it is here. It is here and now that you experience and enjoy the divine. Running away from the world to find divine is not a solution. Find divine here and now is the real solution. There is no other place to go and find the God. You find your God here and now. That is the lesson. Some people, as I said, they develop some kind of vairagya. They say, I have become sannyasi. Now I will not do this, I will not do that. I can't speak to people, I can't do that. all kinds of things. I was telling the other day to these boys, I don't know whether they know the song, but the other day I was telling about a Swami Vivekananda movie, which had come in 98 or something. Very beautiful movie. Those who have not watched, they should watch the movie. And that he is invited to the court of a king, and it so happens that the dancer of the court, like Devadasis of the past, she is there to perform, entertain the king and the Swamiji. You know, king's brains are like that. When Swamiji comes also, he has invited the court dancer to entertain him instead of having a yajna or homa or whatever. Because that is how he enjoys, and he thinks when he goes anywhere, he should be respected through entertainment like this. So he invites that dancer, a Devadasi, to perform for Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda sees and gets very angry. I am a sannyasi, how dare a woman of such lowly existence dance in front of me and entertain. So he gets up and wants to walk away in anger. He thought it was an insult. And then this dancer sings a beautiful Surdas poem. Beautiful poem. It says, Prabhuji Mare avaguna chitna dharo, samadarshi hai naam tumharo, chahe to par karo, Prabhuji Mare avaguna chitna dharo. She says, don't consider my faults, my mistakes, my shortcomings, O Lord, because your name is Samadarshi. You are supposed to be equanimous. And therefore, if you wish, you can redeem me also, though I am a sinner. I am not the most meritorious, eligible seeker. I know I have my faults and my mistakes. But you are equanimous. Your heart is large. And you can always redeem me. If you also run away from me, then who is there to redeem me? And she says very beautifully in the stanza, Ik loha puja mein rakhe, one kind of iron, like the statue or something, we keep in the altar and worship it. And ik hai badhik paro, means and one type of iron is the cuff in the feet of a prisoner. A prisoner is imprisoned using a chain and a cuff. So that is also iron. Par ye duvidha paras nahi jane. The philosopher's stone does not understand which iron belongs to the temple and which belongs to the prison. Karta sabhi kharo. That paras money or the philosopher's stone turns both the iron into gold. It does not differentiate that this iron is the feet of a prisoner, a sinner, and that iron is a piece of the temple statue. So to say, a meritorious iron and a sinner iron. The paras money or the philosopher's stone does not understand that. It makes both of them gold only when it comes in touch with it. Like that, a jnani, please do not think of my wrongs, because you are the personification of equanimity, equal-mindedness. And you can redeem me also, even if I am a sinner, because like the philosopher's stone turns any gold into iron, any iron into gold, you are capable of turning me, a sinner, also into a saint. So do not think of me in any other way, she pleads. And that changes the heart of Swami Vivekananda, who was a young, not very mature sannyasi. He was just into sannyasa, a naya sannyasi he was. So he had all these do's and don'ts. But she teaches him a good lesson, saying that fine, I am not eligible for your grace, but you are supposed to be ahetuka daya sindhu. You are supposed to be the most compassionate one without a reason. And so you can redeem me if you decide to, despite my non-eligibility. That is the beauty of jnana. So here vairagya means, does not mean don't touch me, I am a sannyasi, don't come near me, how can you treat me like this and that, and so much of paraphernalia that goes with being a sannyasi. No, that is not the real vairagya, that is not real sannyasa. Real sannyasa is mano sannyasa, guna sannyasa. How many times Bhagavan has told? Astini, alini, vidi, adavinchigeduga kadu. Do not have to run away from your home and hearth, from your family and your people. Develop that detachment in the mind. That is the real proud vairagya. Why I told is that suddenly after reading this, some people may say, okay, tomorrow I must shave off my head, change my clothing to ochre one, or go off to some place and meditate. Some people wrote to me, Mami, I am not finding it conducive to meditate in this ashram. I was meditating better wherever I was. Here I find it difficult. Now I tell them, what bondage is this, that you can meditate only here and not there? What kind of meditation is this? What kind of bondage is this? This is the problem. This is where the issue happens. Tyagajivi was there long back. He told Bhagavan that I want to go away to the Himalayas and meditate on the divine. Now he asked, so our Narsimurti sir took him to Vrindavan where Bhagavan was giving darshan and told that this person whom you made in charge of as a principal of the school, he wants to run away to the Himalayas. So Bhagavan asked, why do you want to go to Himalayas? He said, because I want to go there and meditate on you. He said, then he showed there is a piece of thread from his robe which had fallen. He said, if somebody gets this piece of thread from my robe, those sitting out there, he pointed towards the devotees who were waiting for darshan, they will dance in joy that they have received a thread from my robe. And you, whom I have given this responsibility to take care of my school, work under me, directly serve me, you want to go to some Himalayas and meditate on me, who is right here. Our bandha is like that, our mind is like that. It wants to do its own thing, and it will give excuses. So such vairagya is no real vairagya. That is not prouda vairagya. That is immature only. And that is why he has used the word prouda vairagya. I thought I would dwell a little more before moving on to the next slokas, because that's correct understanding of detachment and dispassion. That is extremely, extremely important. Who is coughing? You go and sit behind. In the kutkudi. So this is why it's important that you develop the right understanding of vairagya. And Swami used to say, Guddamulu kadu, gunamulu marchandi. Guddamu means your clothes, not clothes, gunamu, your habits, your qualities you should change when you want to be a vairagi. So it is a great idea, dispassion is a great idea, but at the same time it should be understood in the right way. So he mentions all these things and then he continues to say, in the next sloka we will go. Trishna matram, this is sloka number 4 on page 86. He says, Trishna matratmako bandha tannasho moksha uchyate bhava sansakti matrena prapti tushtir muhur muhuhu. Here there is a meaning, I think there is some confusion in the meaning that has been written, word by word meaning. The overall meaning is correct, but I would like to explain it word by word. Trishna, it is the desire, thirst for things. Matratmakaha, that alone is the reason for bandhaha, for the bondage. Your desire is the reason for your bondage. Tat nasho moksha uchyate. The destruction of that desire is liberation. No other need to do anything to attain liberation. Just getting rid of desire itself is liberation. And bhava asansakti matrena is how it should be understood. That once you become detached, asansakti, by that alone, matrena, by that alone, prapti tushtir muhur muhu, you will attain happiness continuously. Muhur muhu, again and again you will be happy. Here the meaning is written like merely by attachment to the worldly life you will attain happiness again and again. But what I mean is by detachment to the worldly life, you will attain happiness, which is again and again means continuously you experience happiness. So just correct that part in the meaning. So the idea is that the reason for all our unhappiness is bondage. Because we are free, our soul is free, but when it is bound, its cage, it is imprisoned, it feels uncomfortable, so we become unhappy. You put a bird in a cage, it will not be happy. It would leave it and it will fly. We had a neighbor sometime back when I was small, they were Malayalis, and somehow a wild parrot came to their balcony. And these 4 girls, they were so fond of that parrot. They caught that parrot. It might have come because of food or something to eat or drink, because there are a lot of plants in their balcony. So it came and sat there. They captured it. They gave some food. It came inside. Finally, they captured it and locked it up in the cage. And every day they would be talking to it and giving it food and giving this, giving that. One day, for whatever reason, the cage's door was open. It was not properly locked. So this parrot took that opportunity and flew away. Oh, they all cried so much. I thought somebody died. So we all got worried what happened. And they said this parrot ran away. Mittu, Mittu they used to call it. Mittu Kuti, because they're Malayalis, so everything is Kuti. So this Mittu Kuti ran away, flew away rather. They were miserable. And look at it, that poor Mittu Kutti's fate, it came back for whatever reason. The moment it came back, they cut its wings, tail, and put it back inside the cage, saying if wings are there, it will fly again. So they cut it short. Not cut means fully cut. They cut it short so that there is not enough thrust to lift itself up. Then that poor Mittu Kutti was only hopping around the whole place. You think Mittu Kutti was happy in the cage? No, it wanted its freedom. Whenever it wants to fly out and go somewhere, it should be able to go. When it wants to come back to be with them, it should be able to come back. Freedom is the basic right. That is why I tell from French Revolution, liberty, equality, fraternity, these were the values, because people were slaves, people were under anarchical regime, they were suffering. Nobody wants to trade their freedom for anything. Nobody in the world. Freedom is the uppermost, supreme most value that every species, including humans, appreciate. Nobody would trade their freedom for anything else. Even an animal knows that it doesn't want freedom. A beautiful poem, a Hindi poem from my school days comes which says, that कहीं भली है कटुक निबोरी कनक कटोरी की मैदा से. It is better that I eat bitter fruits on the trees, the bird is saying, who has been caged, than eating maida, a refined flour, in golden cups of your cage. I would rather eat bitter berries of freedom in the wild than this comfortable, refined flour in the golden cups of your cage. Beautiful poem, I don't remember the, but this one thought stuck with me, that freedom, even if it's bitter, even if it's difficult, even if it's hard, it is still better than a luxurious, comfortable life but of slavery. Because our souls are free, but because of the desires, we bind these souls and make them slaves to the senses and the mind. And that is why this unrest, this anger, this frustration in the world, this unhappiness in the world. That is why. Children are very expressive. You try to put them in one place, they'll cry. Leave them alone, they're happy. Because they are pure, they don't have to please anybody. They don't have to act or behave just to impress somebody. So they are themselves. They'll cry, yell, make fuss if you tie them up. Leave them alone. They are running all around the place, because freedom is the basic human value, basic idea that all of us like, because we are souls, we are not bodies. And souls want to be free. God is free, cannot be bound, like the space, like the water, like the wind. It is free. The freedom is our nature. When that is not happening, we become angry. We become sad. Again, this freedom should not be misunderstood as Svecha Vritti. It means I'll do as I please, my life, my terms. No, that is not freedom. That is also slavery to the mind, an arrogant mind which tells, do as I say. And you consider it as some kind of freedom and you can do whatever you want. No, that is not the freedom. Real freedom is this idea that you're able to express your divinity in all situations. Your divinity is not restricted. It is not contained. It is not captured, imprisoned. Your divinity, to be able to love, to be able to care, to be able to share, to be able to serve, to be able to be peaceful in all circumstances. This is our freedom. That we have traded off for paltry, petty, worldly things. And that's a bad trade. Because of that we become slaves to so many things. I see these people working in corporate lives. That one day somebody had interviewed me, was saying, we all feel like Koluka Bell. Koluka Bell means this ox which is used to in the oil mills of the past. It will go round and round with a stone tied to it and grind the seeds to produce oil. You will see this in many villages even today. It goes round and round, goes nowhere, reaches nowhere. Just goes round and round and round and round. Likewise our lives are, once we become slaves to the desire. The desire will drive us to do all things. Now we'll keep to fulfill one after the other one. We'll keep working and working and working. There is no end to it. There is no end to it. Now after some time, bigger habits of creatures of habits. So we will become habituated to our slavery and we will accept it. That this is how it is. We won't rebel, we won't revolt anymore. Like that Mitukuti, whose wings are now clipped. It can't fly, it has accepted its fate, and it died one day in the cage. Of course, that was the real death, so real mourning happened that day too. But all I'm saying is that he died long ago. That Mitukuti died the day his wings were clipped. Physical death happened much later. So we are living dead. We are walking corpses. Why? Because we are not free. It's as good as being dead. But dead people are bound. Alive people should be free. We should be able to do what we are destined to do. That is why I value this freedom so much. When children say, I want to study this, I want to study that, I know that is their soul's calling. That alone will make them happy. Otherwise, we'll create frustrated youngsters. So give them that opportunity to express themselves freely. This is why freedom is so very important. But freedom comes only if you are not having desires. Desires take away all your freedom. Otherwise, why would people slog like this 18 hours a day in a corporate? And then next desire to buy a house, as Bharat said that day. We don't buy houses, we only buy a lifelong EMIs. And we continuously pay in the name of desires. And one other great Swamiji had come, he was telling how this desire binds us. He was telling the idea about it. He said, look at the first thing. You want to study well, get into a big college because that is a reputational thing to do. So you buy a loan, education loan, get into a big college. Now because you graduated from a big college, you have to take up a big job only. Small jobs are not going to help you. You have to pay your educational loan. So you will take a job in some very highly competitive corporate, which will grind you. It will squeeze the last bit of energy and efforts from you for whatever they pay. And why you need that kind of pay? Because now there is a tag, you are an Ivy League college graduate and you work for the topmost 500 Fortune 500 companies, and then those companies want that kind of profit to remain within the 500 list. So they make you work like a donkey, and you work your life out in these heavy competitive corporate environments. Then you have to cut corners because you have to get ahead of others, because this is so competitive. You fall back and that's it, you're done. Nobody is going to spare you. Nobody remembers how much good you did to the corporate. Every day you have to prove yourself. Every month you have to deliver. So you keep doing that. You are paying EMIs on one side now. Now because you're working for a Fortune 500 company, you must go to the office in a posh car. You can't go in auto rickshaw. That's not allowed. You have to wear dresses which are premium branded. You cannot just go to a tailor and get stitched whatever you want. It has to be from the topmost brands, because that is the life that you must live. Now you buy all these on loans which are easily available to you. And then what you do the next thing, you have to live in a proper area. You cannot just live in some outskirts. You have to live in a posh locality. So you will buy a house or rent a place or whichever way, but you will pay a huge money for that as well. Now in that house all your neighbors are rich. So you have to also keep rich things inside your house. Now you have a rich car and a rich house and a rich neighborhood. You will only go to rich restaurants. You can't go to cheap restaurants anymore. And then you go to rich restaurant and spend for the same cup of coffee which could have been purchased for 20 rupees. Now you're going to pay 2,000 rupees sitting in that 5-star luxury boutique restaurant. And your friends also will be like this, on whom you'll have to spend one birthday party, and that's it. So one thing leads to the other. Now even if you want to marry, you will marry a similar class of people. And the wife will come with her own demands. She has her own desires for branded things to maintain the lifestyle. Now just imagine, then you have kids, and the kids want to go to the poshest school in the locality because they are the children of some super jet-setting CEO. They can't be going to some ordinary school. Then again you will borrow money to pay for their education. And they will get into a Ivy League college, and again one more cycle starts from there. This is how the world is running right now. You go and see people, not all of them are rich, they appear to be rich. They have huge credit card debts, EMIs, loans. They're under so much pressure all the time. All the time they're under pressure. Why? Because one desire has led to another. Another led to another. They all look good on the surface, but deep under they are very, very miserable. They are bound. They are bound. Why? Because they had desires. And now they have gotten into this chakravyuha. They don't know how to get out of it. Getting out of it means you have to give up everything. Your luxurious lifestyle, your friendships and your club memberships and your wife's desires and your children's schools. Everything you have to give up. And that's not possible because you are riding a tiger now. You just don't know how to get off. It will eat you up. So then they never have the courage to get off this tiger, and this dangerous ride continues till the end of their lives. This is how most of the world is living. And I keep telling our students and the youngsters who have ideas of their own, I have seen the world, and I still see a lot of people around the world. Even if they are rich, that richness has come at a huge cost, and sometimes it is not worth it. They lost everything to regain that little money at the end of their lives, which they feel is a security. You are already secure here. Why you need security? Why do you want to waste your life doing things which are just going to fill some businessman, some capitalist, not even crony capitalists' pockets? Why do you want to waste away just a precious human life in such paltry pursuit? It looks good on the surface, but all that shines is not gold. That understanding at a young age is very difficult, because how much ever we tell, they will say, you have seen and done and been, and now you are giving all the gyan to us. There was a teacher in Puttaparthi, he was a management teacher, and he had been there, done that kind. But when he came back to Puttaparthi, Bhagavan told him, you take care of my students and I will take care of your moksha. So he was very passionate about teaching. But half of his class, he'll be only lecturing us on how transient and impermanent is this world and why one should not go after it. And half the students in the class will just shake their heads in disbelief. They'll say, this man has enjoyed everything, made good money, now at the end of this life, he has landed up here, and now he's lecturing us not to pursue a material path. This is easy to lecture after everything you have enjoyed. That is the attitude of the students there. Because they cannot understand that what he's saying is actually truth. Unfortunately, he could not come earlier and tell this. He had to come at his own time and do this. So the youngsters get very quickly attracted by these fascinating things. I read in newspapers, people have sold their kidney to buy the next iPhone. That is the value that they are giving to their human life. So I noted down this shloka from our Viveka Chudamani, where he says, Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham. You know this shloka very well. It's not written here, but I am reminding. Say Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham. For all the beings, human birth is very precious. Because humans can do so many things the animals cannot do. So Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham. Tato Pumsatvam Tato Viprata, it says. In that also, being born a male and being born in a Viprata, means in a family of knowledge seekers, the Brahmins. Now don't start splitting the hair here, that women were not the better births, if you are not born Brahmin, we are not good. No, think, as I say, always in the context of when this thing was written. When Adi Shankara wrote this 1200, 300 years ago, whenever, what did he say? He said, being born as a human being itself is rare. The rarer than that as a blessing is to be born male, because men had more opportunities than women in those days. They could go out to study at a Gurukula. Women were only taught at home for whatever social reasons and safety reasons and other reasons. There were no proper opportunities for women. Unlike today, you all are getting the same opportunity, even more, but not in those days. Then tato pumsatvam tato viprata, he says. Viprata means to be born in the family of knowledge. You could have been born in a family of laborers or farmers or some other professions. Then what happens? You don't get to learn so much of knowledge of the self. You only will get to know your professional skills. Your opportunities to maximize or optimize your human potential is limited then. So this is a rarer blessing. So 3 blessings: born as human, born as man, it means having access to opportunity, and 3, born in the family of like-minded people who are also knowledge seekers. Then it says, Tasmat Vaidik Dharma Marga Partha. In the knowledge seekers family also, not everybody might be sincere about seeking the knowledge. Tasmat Vaidik Dharma Marga Partha. In those also, people who want to follow the path of Dharma, who are dedicated to it, Vaidik Dharma, Vedas and Upanishads and higher scriptures, being born, that is this additional blessing. Then it says, Vidvattam Asmat Param. In that also, becoming a Pandit, being able to understand the scriptures, not just reading it like a parrot, but I'm able to assimilate it, is even bigger blessing. Then he says, Atman Atma Vivechanam, but even after understanding the scriptures, being able to discriminate self from non-self, real from unreal, God from world, permanent from transient, that ability, that discrimination, Atman Atma Vivechanam, is even greater blessing. Then Swanubhavo Brahmana Samstitihi, and in that also being able to experience the Brahmasthiti, the experience of God You have been able to discriminate, but you are not able to experience. But if you are able to experience that, it's even greater a blessing. And then he says, Muktir no shatajanma koti sukrutair punyair vina labhyate. Mukti, what moksha we are seeking for, the freedom that we are seeking for, we don't get it without shatat janma koti punyair, hundreds of births worth of crores of good deeds. Without that, you don't get these opportunities to be born as human, then born as male. It means access to opportunity to be born in the family of Brahmins, knowledge seekers, then to be able to dedicate oneself to the study of scriptures, then to be able to understand the scriptures, develop discrimination of self from non-self, being able to experience the Brahman Sthiti, seven blessings. This is not given to everybody. It comes to you because of several lifetimes of good deeds, he says. Not easy to achieve it like that. Just because you're sitting here, you think you got it like that. No. Something you must have done earlier to be here. And then the next sloka is even better. It says, Labdhva katham chin narjanma durlabham. It is again for Viveka Chudamani. It says, suppose you are somehow managed, it's not written on the book, but I'm just mentioning to you that after Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya says, suppose you received these blessings, somehow you got the human birth, you are not born an animal. And then inside also Pumsatvam, you are born as a male human only, not a female human, let us say. You have got. And then it says, Shruti Paradarshanam, and you have become expert in understanding the Vedas and the scriptures. Now you have achieved these things. Almost 6 or 5 out of 7 you have achieved. Now, if Yasto Atma Muktau na yateta mudadihi, the one who does not put efforts to realize the self, mukti, for the freedom of the self, well, after achieving this much, if one does not put effort, Sahyatma Swam Vinihantya Sadruhad. He is like killing himself. He is committing suicide, spiritual suicide. Because after receiving all these things, he is not interested in further experiencing the self or freeing himself from the bondage of desires. Such a person is, as I said, is living dead or a corpse. The one who has killed himself, the one who has destroyed himself because of foolishness. Mudadhi is the word he uses. It is a spiritual suicide. That's why it says, if I have to translate it to our parlance, being born as a human being, first blessing. 2, somehow becoming a part of this institution as students or devotees or staff. Second blessing. 3rd, not just a student, staff, devotee, but a sincere one who is learning the scriptures, the Paravidya. 10 years ago, this was not given. 10 years later, now you are able to, so you are getting both Apara and Paravidya. That blessing. Then being able to understand what I am speaking. Some of them might not be, everything may be going overhead. But some of them really putting efforts to sincerely understand, analyze. Then you develop some kind of a dispassion and discrimination out of this continuous contemplation on scriptures and continuous lectures. And then you are able to develop some experience of the divine. Because you have put efforts. You didn't stop at just memorizing the scriptures for a quiz sake or for the sake of writing an exam. No. You put efforts to assimilate, understand, and then develop that discrimination. Atmanatma vivechanam. You understand what I am telling is right. Yes, the world does look attractive, but it is not the ultimate. Living a godly life is the ultimate. A life of freedom of the soul is ultimate. Freedom is not about running away from the ashram and doing as you please in Bangalore, wake up at whatever time, sleep at whatever time, eat whatever you want, nobody asks you anything. That is not freedom. People think that is freedom. This is a rigorous, grueling schedule. Wake up at time, sleep on time, do things on time. This is like a slavery people think. No, those are mudad, these fools. The real wise one will say this is what is good, and that is not good. Where you can do as you please. Wake up at 10 o'clock, nobody to ask you. You spend whole day doing nothing, just watching TV or fooling around. Sleep late at night and get into all kinds of habits and things. They think that is freedom. And that is being touted as freedom and celebrated as freedom. People say, my life, my terms, it's my life. Who are you to tell whatever I am doing? I am entitled to whatever. But that is not freedom. That is Rakshasi Vritti. Even Rakshasas do as they please. Do they think that is freedom? No, but this is very... So why I reminded you of this sloka is that you have got a lot of things right. Somehow you are born as human being. Boy and girl does not matter to me. So either ways you have benefited from. Become a student or a devotee or a staff or a volunteer, whichever way, got inside the institution. Now you are able to learn Apara and Para, both Vidyas. Then you are able to understand this Para, Apara Vidya, whatever I am teaching. Then you have to develop some kind of a discrimination and detachment. And so 6 steps you have already got. 7th is realizing the self, which will happen if you are on the right road. After 6 stations, 7th station will come. So that is a natural phenomenon. You should not worry too much. But as long as you are on the road, now in between you take a right deviation, left deviation, go off to somewhere else, your journey ends there. Then you cannot blame anybody. So such a person is a tremendous fool who, having got so many things right, finally before the station gets off the train and walks away and never boards it again. A lot of people do that. Of course, it's come down now drastically. But earlier people never even understood what I am talking. They thought, oh, he's a Swamiji, his job is to give discourse, and I have to listen from one ear and take out from the other, that's it. Nobody paid attention. That's why I made it so particular. I will go to any extent to make sure that you are on the path. You don't want any fees to be paid so that I have a better say. Okay, we will remove all the fees. Even if it is an additional burden on the trust and me, fine. You want your parents, I want your parents to be involved, because if they are not involved, then we are not going to be able to help you continue the journey. So get parents also involved. Take care of their needs also and make sure they come for seva by removing all financial burdens whatsoever. Went to that extent to get you in. Then have spent hundreds of hours reading and teaching scriptures. I have plenty of other things to do. We can always avoid this. Hundreds of hours through the COVID until now. I don't know how many hundreds of hours. In COVID, they told me I have recorded 600 hours of lectures during COVID time. And now I do not know, after that, another 3-4 years. To make sure that this knowledge is made available to you in a palatable way, in a simple way, in a digestible way. Not in a very complicated Sanskrit with Shankara Bhashyas and things like that, which are again limited for only a few. It's being made available to the smallest and the youngest. When they told, what should we do with Ashtavakra, I told, create a workbook for everybody. Let it have every daily recording of what they have learned, how they will practice, everything. And we designed the book, and I personally corrected things which were not right. Then they said, what do we do? Should we charge this book? I told, here I am not charging for anything. Why will I charge for notebooks and these books? I still give it to everybody who is attending. All students, all staff, all those who are attending, they should get it free. They should get the workbook also free for the entire 100 days, so that they don't miss out on any of these lessons. And then making sure that this is 56th day. Not 1 day's break I have taken. Some of you have attended some sessions, some have taken off some days. Some were sick, so they didn't turn up. Some were okay, they came. Some were busy with some other activity, they did not come. Some were busy. I did not skip 1 day's session. Every day I was there to teach. This much effort, why am I taking? To make sure that you don't end up in that Mudadi category who has committed a spiritual suicide. That much effort, which Guruji, which ashram, which institution will take, nobody will take. They'll take, if you are interested here, that will charge lectures are there. Front 5 rows, you will be charged more. Back 5 rows will be charged less. Pay for your own food, pay for the books, pay for the notebooks, pay for everything that you use during the, whatever the teaching workshop. That is how it is. And Swamijis themselves charge. There are a lot of Kathavachaks there who tell Ramayana story, Bhagavatam stories. For every of them, they will land up in private jets, sponsored by the committee which has organized the satsang, and everybody pays for it. Nobody is given anything free. Spiritual knowledge is also not free. Here, getting books translated, making it easy, making it available, and taking lectures. Why so much of effort? Because you should understand how deeply committed I am to the cause of your ultimate welfare. Without that, this is not going to be happening. I know somewhere halfway through you will drop off. I didn't have a book, I didn't have a notebook, my parents didn't permit, I was not well, I was not given this, I was not given that. Because of that, I am not able to do. You can do anything. I saw to that most of your syllabus was completed before you came here, so that you are not able to, you are not worried about that. And whatever is there, in the next 3-4 months, it has to be completed. Every possible, from accommodation to food to everything was taken care of. Why? All I want is you to learn this knowledge and cover these 7 steps. Cover these 7 steps and realize yourself. That's all my interest is. Otherwise, who will take this effort? What will I gain out of it if you study or you don't study? You are a fool, you will suffer. Why will I bother? But out of concern, that is why Guru. That is why the concept of Guru. Like Nidaga and his Guru, Ribu, goes to any extent to make sure that the disciple is on the path. Nobody would do that. I mean, it was not done in Puttaparthi, let me tell you. It was never done anywhere. There also people were told, get your own notebook, maybe in summer course, 15 days, there will be one notebook given, that's it. All other things were up to you. Whether you practice or didn't practice, up to you. But to that extent that there is no reason why one would not practice this. To that extent we have gone. So having put this kind of effort to bring you this far, it is your utmost responsibility to make sure that you participate and do the best in your way, in your capacity, right? So that is why this sloka says that do not get attached to the wrong things because of wrong understanding and develop wrong desires. No, world is nice, we will go away, we'll enjoy life. No. And the moment you get rid of your desires, you are free. Even I am bound in a way because I have a desire. What is the desire? That I want you all to be redeemed. I want poor to not suffer. I want children not to be in trouble. I want women to have equal opportunities. All these are some desires of mine. That is what is binding me. Otherwise, why would I work? I am free. I will move away. I'll do as I please, as they say. But I am bound by this desire of doing good to everybody. So to till that desire is existing, we are working. But that is a good desire. I said, replace bad desires with good desires first and later get rid of both the desires. In the sense, remove one thorn with another thorn and throw away both the thorns. So this is how slowly you must develop better understanding, better desires. And when you become asansakta, when you become detached from everything, prapti tushti, you are satisfied. Muhur muhu, again and again you are satisfied. You are ever satisfied. There is never a moment of dissatisfaction or dejection or depression or anger or frustration or any negative emotion. You are ever satisfied because you are always free, you are desireless. That is the conclusion of Kathopanishad also. It says, Yada sarve pramuchyante kama yasya dhishrita athamartyo amrito bhavati atra brahma samushnute. The one who gets rid of all the desires of the heart, that person here and now becomes Brahman. Now and here he realizes. Even a smallest desire will bind us. That desire is not that there is no binding at all. Not that I am bound by this. It's the duty ordained by the divine, so we are carrying forward. It's not even categorized as desire. In a way, if you want to understand why do I work, okay, there is one good desire because we work. But it is divinely ordained, so we follow divine command and we work. That's all it is. So the idea is the moment you get rid of all desires, you're free. And that freedom is peace. The one who is free only is peaceful. The one who is not free is not peaceful at all. That is the idea. So this freedom comes from desirelessness. The next shloka is 10.5. It says, Tvamekas chetanaha shuddho jadam vishvam asat tatha avidyapi na kinchit sa ka bubutsa tathapite. It says, Tvam ekaha chetanaha shuddhaha. You are the one without the second. Chetanaha, consciousness. Shuddhaha, pure. You are the one pure consciousness. That is your definition. If somebody asks you, who are you? I am that one pure consciousness, according to Ashtavakra. And what is the world? Jadam Vishwam Asat. This Vishwa, or the world, is Jada, without consciousness. In a way, it cannot attain divine. From that point of view, like that consciousness permeates everything. Some, people are there, some children, they will not get the essence, they will start, oh, you said everything is consciousness, then how come world is not consciousness? This shloka is saying. Without, ye bolte na, bal ki khal nikalna bolte na, they split the hair. They don't get the meaning. Aam khao, gutli mat gino, I keep telling you. Enjoy the fruit, forget about the seed inside it. Likewise, some people will come and say, oh, you said there is no consciousness in the world. Ashtavakra is saying, it is to say that this is matter and that is consciousness. The world is only matter made of the 5 elements. To compare. And asat, it is unreal. Why it's unreal? Because it is there today, it is not there tomorrow. Sat or truth by definition is there in all time, places and situations. Whereas the matter keeps changing forms from one to another. Consciousness is the same. So opposite to the idea of that eka chetanaha shuddhaha, he says, what is world? Jadam and asat. Jada means matter. It has no ability to realize the divine. Like a stone cannot realize divine, a tree cannot realize the divine, like that. And asat. Asat means is unreal because it keeps changing. Today it is one thing, tomorrow it becomes another thing. Such a thing is not permanent, so there is impermanent. Know that. Know that with conviction, not just as a theoretical, intellectual understanding. And he says, avidya api na kinchitsa. And all this is just ignorance only, avidya. Vidya is the knowledge of the self. Anything which is not the knowledge of the self is considered as avidya in our scriptures. So all the scientific acumen that you have, it's avidya. All the music, art and philosophy, avidya. All the knowledge of construction and project management and rocket science, avidya. Geology, astrology, astronomy, avidya. Medicine, nursing, paramedical, avidya. Everything is put under the category of avidya only. There is only one vidya, one real knowledge, which is the knowledge of the self. All other knowledge is considered as not real knowledge. That is how we categorize. So everything is not real knowledge. Na kinchit sa, nothing other than unreal knowledge. So ka bubutsa tathapi. So why should you be desirous of earning this knowledge, which is unreal? What is the need for it, he's saying. Why this accumulation of knowledge is another bad habit that people have. They keep on reading and reading and reading, stuffing their head with so much of information. Curiosity. Idle curiosity doesn't lead to anything. But they keep on spending so much time. He says, why this kind of desire to go on accumulating knowledge of things around? Forget about things. Knowledge of what's happening in whose house, who is talking to whom. Why you need to spend time on all these things, waste your time on all these things? Focus on what is real. Why spend time on unreal things? So that is what he's saying. Some people are so desirous. What kind of desires they have? He said in the first shloka, previous shloka, get rid of desires. Then he's saying, what is the desire? Desire for this unreal world and its knowledge. People take so much of pride. If they become scientists, I said, doctors and scientists are having the biggest egos on earth. Who comes first, I do not know. They keep competing. Who gets the first place? Either doctors are egoistic or scientists are egoistic. They are the highest egoistic people on earth. Because they have this thing that I have the knowledge. Of knowledge of what? Our scripture will say, of the unreal. So big deal, they'll say. Our rishis will say, big deal, you have knowledge of the unreal. Knowledge of the real do you have? Then you are really somebody. But unreal knowledge, as much as you accumulate, what is the point? Like fake currency notes. The 2000 rupees after demonetization. I have a room full of 2000 rupees notes. Still I am not rich, right? Because it has no value today. Likewise, in the spiritual part, this worldly knowledge does not carry any value. It is only a medium, like what we say, Ramakrishna Paramsa would say, you need a ladder to reach the roof. Once you reach the roof, you don't need the ladder. So this worldly knowledge is useful for worldly works, to sustain the body, to contribute something to society. Chittasya shuddhaye karma, as they say, to purify your mind by seva. For that reason, if you use the worldly knowledge, it is still okay. It's like ladder that takes you to the roof. Because without this avidya knowledge in the schools of science, maths or NIOS curriculum, none of you will come here. If I say I am only running a spiritual Pathshala, I only teach Ashtavakra Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, how many people will come? Even the Veda Pathshala children won't come. They are here because they have got the dual advantage of one side Vedas, other side NIOS. And don't I know some of their parents are planning after 10th class we will take them away, because anyway they have got NIOS knowledge. They can join any regular school now. Something like that. Avidya. So enamored by the unreal that they just can't see the real at all. But we are trying to, balance it and give so that some desire for the real also comes. As Krishna was, very mischievous and it was very difficult to catch him. So Mother Yashoda would keep a ball of butter in her hand, right hand, and keep a stick behind in the left hand to catch him. So he will see the butter and come, and then he will catch and Mother Yashoda will give with the stick. Likewise, the Bhagavan used to say, this spiritual knowledge is the stick behind, and the worldly knowledge is the butter in the front. So yes, you will get a degree, you will get a job, you will get a NIS, you will get into NEET, and you will get into MBBS, you will get all these are that butter that I am showing. But behind that there is the spiritual stick, which is to discipline you in a spiritual way. That is the real goal. But if I keep the stick in front and butter behind, who will come? Nobody will come. So all this is only for that. See, teaching this spiritual adhyatmic knowledge does not cost me anything. What will it cost me, tell me? It costs me my time. It costs me this auditorium. It costs me some food for all of you who will come and attend the workshop. Beyond that, does it cost me anything? Even if I feed 5,000 people a day to teach spiritual knowledge, it won't cost me anything. But to teach you MBBS, it costs me a bomb. To teach you NIOS and university, it costs me a mountain. To teach you all other aspects, and employ you and keep you here, it costs me. Otherwise, this could have been done at no cost at all to me. These hundreds of crores we are spending for the avidya, so that you will learn vidya. Indirectly, isn't it? Otherwise, I could have been just a Swamiji saying, this is what I teach, come. And there also I could have told those who wish to come, pay and eat and come here. Hall is free, I am free. Other than everything is charged. Could have been that way also. But just to ensure that you don't give up the pursuit of this knowledge, for that avidya knowledge of all your subjects and everything, and employment and housing and other benefits and all that has been put in place, which costs you so much. But why I am repeating is that is the commitment I have towards your welfare, spiritual welfare, for which sake any extent I am ready to go. And you have to realize that. You can't take it so lightly that he has no other job, simply goes on giving lectures, 100 days, Ashtavakra. No, I am very interested in your ultimate welfare, for which sakes we are doing anything and everything possible. Just to keep you here, keep you comfortable, keep you motivated, keep you desirous of this knowledge. Who will do this on this earth? I am saying I have been a student in Puttaparthi, it wasn't done. In Whitefield, it wasn't done. Yes, it was done to some extent, but it was only for those who were really interested. If not interested, nobody cared. Here, even if you're not interested, like Ribu going behind Nidaga, I am going behind everybody. No, please learn, please learn, please learn. Nobody would do that, not at this cost at least. Nobody would do that. But we are doing that because we're really interested in your ultimate welfare. So idea is that knowing that all this is unreal, avidya, why desire so much about it? Yes, you need it to some extent, fine, you enjoy it. Like a magic show, you enjoy it. Why you need to go and dig into what is the trick? Why do you need to know? Anyway, you know it is not real, right? So why you need to spend time on it? It's like the snake and the rope thing. Some boy says, I saw a snake over there. The teacher comes and shows that no, it was not a snake, it was a rope. Yes, now it is a rope, but earlier there was a snake, if he says. I want to know which species of the snake that was, whether it was poisonous or non-poisonous, which side it went. The teacher will say, why you dig all this? What does it lead to? Anyway, it was never there. Why so much of interest in finding that snake which was never there? But we are so interested. What is happening in his house? What is she wearing today? How is he behaving? Which boy is talking to which girl? Which family is friends with which family? Who is gone out of the ashram at what time? What time they are returning? What is happening? How much they have learnt? How much is their wealth? Why? Why waste time is what I tell in these idle gossips. Bhagavan used to be super irritated with these gossipers and used to call them hypocrites. He used to shout at them, saying, don't waste your time in gossiping about this person, that person. Cheap work this is. But people get interested, even in ashram they get interested in nonsense. They're more interested in what's happening around than what's happening within. That's where all the problems start. Because our mind is like that. It is like that housefly. It sits on garbage one day and goes and sits on the food another day. It doesn't understand only which is which. Narada the pig, you remember? Doesn't understand how much ever you give him fruits and nice sweets, it will say, no, I will eat my diet only. I will not touch all this. Because we become spiritual pigs. We don't appreciate these good things. We are still running behind that avidya only. Why? Janma Janmantar's habit. So many births of habit where we only thought that was real. Now suddenly we are told all that was not real, this is what is real. It takes time to accept it. That's why Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhya is required. Shraddha is required to start on this journey. You have to blindly believe the scripture and the Guru. Even if you don't understand, even if you don't experience, you have to believe. That is the first step. That Vani is saying, this is unreal, that is real, we just believe. And then we work towards it and finally we'll realize it, that it is true. So you have to get convinced that this is avidya, so bubutsa, this desire to enjoy it. Where does it come from? Why should you have that kind of desire? What will you enjoy here? There is nothing to enjoy. There is nothing, no real thing to enjoy. These pleasures that come and go, they are temporary, like in a dream. You become rich, you win a lottery and you are very happy in the dream. But the moment you wake up, you are the same person. So that is the clarity that each of us should have at the end of it. Even if we don't experience it, because the scriptures say it, because our Guru says it, we must just believe in it, that's it. We must just believe in it. No other way. And then become convinced and work towards it. The next sloka 10.6 says, similar in the earlier terms, that what all we desire for and how should we get rid of it. He says, Rajyam, because he's a king, so kingdom. Sutaha, children. Kalatrani, all your wives. Sharirani, because that time many wives were there. Sharirani, bodies. And Sukhani, the pleasures. All these things, your kingdom, your children, your wives, your bodies, he's saying, and your pleasures. Why? Sansaktasyapi nashtani. Even if you're attached to all those things and you protect it with your dear life, you try to preserve it, even then, Lives after life, these have been destroyed for you. You tried to hold on to your bodies in various lifetimes, live as long as possible, enjoy the world as long as possible, but none of that lasted. All the pleasures that you seemingly have enjoyed or tried to enjoy, they never lasted forever. Your wives whom you have married in so many lifetimes, so many wives, even in this lifetime, none of them lasted, they never came with you. Your Rajya, kingdom that you won and lost, they never were permanent, they also went away. Your children whom you were doting over, you were giving everything for them, they were the people who never stayed with you forever. You were always alone at the end. So, even if you sansakta, even if you are very attached to them, very protective, possessive, and you are doing everything in your mind to prolong as long as possible, keep them with you, yet all this comes to an end, not only in this life, lives after life, this has happened to you. In every life you have gone through this, trying to get attached to the people, hold on to things, try to enjoy this, live as long as possible, try to protect this, preserve that, yoga, kshema. This you have done for lives after lives, and despite so much of effort that you have put to do that, at the end none of this stayed, nashtani, everything got destroyed only. Janmani, janmani, lives after lives, births after births, you have only lost. All your efforts were wasted. It's like writing on water. It never stays. You have tried and tried and tried all this life. This is not the first time you are trying all these things, he is telling Janaka. I mean, through Janaka he is telling us. Again, some people are there, they will say, but Janaka is already realized in the previous book. Now why he is getting this lecture again in the next book? No, Janaka is all realized. If you, that way we could have finished it in 2 shloka, one Ashtavakra, one Janaka shloka, and period. But it is for us to continuously contemplate, meditate and do vichara. That is Vastu Siddhi Vicharena. To realize the self, you must do vichara. And that vichara is what he's telling, that though we feel so compelled to protect, preserve all our relations, wealth, possessions, and all the pleasures, yet lives after lives we have tried this and never been able to have it. We have been chasing shadows. We never had it. So that is why give up this pursuit of the avidya, the unreal. Why waste time? Rather put your time behind something that will give you something permanent. Why waste time reading something which is not relevant for some out of syllabus stuff? Why will you read for the exam? You will read what is going to come in the exam, right? Why you will waste? If you are reading something else, your brother or colleague will come and tell, why are you reading maths? Tomorrow is chemistry exam. Why are you reading all this? Then you will realize, oh really, tomorrow is chemistry. Then you will dump that maths book and start reading chemistry, isn't it? However much you love chemistry, can you read chemistry and write math exam? Or can you read math and write chemistry exam? No. With avidya, how can you attain vidya? How much ever effort you put because you like avidya, you cannot attain vidya. So that is the idea. Be confirmed in your conviction that this is avidya. This is only helpful to some extent. This is not permanent. This will go away. Lives after lives, I have lost this. My husbands are gone, wives are gone, children are gone. They are never there with me again. It's only for these 3-5 days of magic show that they are with me. After that, we will all move on. Then next page, a small shloka is there. This is from again, I have taken it from Bhajagovindam. Very nice. It says, Shatrau mitre putre bandhau ma kuru yatanam vigraha sandhau sarvasmin napi pashyatmanam sarvatro sraja bheda jnanam. It says this idea of accumulating enemies, friends, children, relations, do not put efforts behind them. If they come to you effortlessly, it's fine, by divine destiny. You don't put extra efforts to make girlfriends, boyfriends, or friends or enemies. Don't put extra effort behind such stupidity. It happens by and by because of whatever is happening around you by its nature, so be it. Don't start sending messages, WhatsApping, Instagramming people. Hey, how are you? I saw you the other day. How you are looking? You wore a nice dress. Why unnecessarily develop these unwanted relationships? Don't put efforts behind it is what Adi Shankaracharya, because these are all going to fade away. This is how it happens. I used to have a joke. I used to say, first we meet on Facebook, then we meet face to face, then we lose our face after that, because we end up in some nonsense. How much this Facebook and how much damage these Instagrams have done. At some point in time, I was so upset during COVID time, because a lot of these people during COVID got access to social media at homes, and they all messaged each other, became friends on Facebook. If it was only friendship and acquaintance, okay, then it started growing into something else. So when that led to a huge exodus of students from the institute, because I put my foot down and said, this is not allowed. So a lot of people had to leave the institute. Some apologized, came back, some never came back. All that is over. I told, so no Facebook for our university students, please don't use. Now all of them are on Instagram. How convenient. I told no Facebook, so they are not on Facebook. But they are all in Instagram. How do I know? Because I am also on Instagram. And why do I go there? How do I catch a thief? You have to behave like a thief. You have to think like a thief. Then only you will catch a thief. Now I see all our students and staff are Instagram. And this status keeps coming, Instagram, whatever they post, it keeps coming. Only thing Instagram makes you follow, they can privacy, they can protect their feeds. But all of them are there with their different poses, new dresses. If they have traveled abroad, then pictures with monuments abroad, or some new thing, some new idea, some new song, all of them. I was thinking how much time they must be spending on Instagram every day. Average 1 hour, let us say. Half an hour to post and discuss and half an hour to make friends and relations. And I see how many followers they have. Hundreds of them. Who are these followers? All within our institutions. Each has found their... And we had some Instagram, disasters also recently. And WhatsApp disaster. Somebody messaged somebody and that's it. They become friends. Suddenly became so possessive about each other that nothing else they liked. They wanted only each other. I've seen boys, girls getting into this nonsense. And these companies are made like that. They know this nature that we are running behind avidya. We are very attracted, infatuated by the looks and the skin of things. So they all are making business out of all of us, our weaknesses and our foolishness. All of them are making business. Why gambling is thriving? Online gambling. Why alcoholism is thriving? Because they know that by this world is full of ignorant fools. And the only way to make money is to make these people. When I asked somebody who has, the owner or creators of these apps, Facebooks, and they have not allowed their children to use them. They know that this is such a disastrous thing. They don't give their children to use them, but all the children of the world are using like fools. Why are they not giving their own children? Because they know this is not good. What they've created is very dangerous, it is not nice. So they are very particular, very strict with their own children. I've heard this, and without quoting the companies' names, but these are those Microsofts and Googles and Facebooks and Instagrams of the world, whose owners do not allow their children, they never gave them smartphones till they were mature. But we are using all their applications and creations, and our children are getting ruined. This is what is happening around the world. So when I put my foot down and say, I will not allow this, I will not allow this, is the reason. But what happens once they finish their graduation, I also have to teach them how to deal with the world. I can't keep them, in a cocoon. How long? So then we give them phones, internet connection, we give them laptops and things. Then all the wings start coming out, which were all so far not there. All of them, all children of the university have gone into this Instagram addiction. I see that, right? Because we are on Instagram for a good reason. VRY is there because we are spreading our, education mission. We are spreading our knowledge of our things. So we have to be on social media because that is where the most of the world meets. So we have to be, our presence should be there on internet. That is important for any social organization also to grow. Whether it's political, social, religious, spiritual, all organizations are there. Because there are people who, like for example, now this YouTube, whatever is going on, people are watching from around the world. And they write to me that they are so happy, they are elderly, they are sick, they cannot travel, they don't have the money. But because of this continuous relay of all the discourses and programs, they feel they are sitting right here in this hall. They feel very happy. So for that sake, okay, social media. Poor people get to know about our hospital services or things. I understand fully. But for entertainment purpose, why should you be on social media is my question. So entertainment also I will permit. But for this unnecessary shatro mitre putro bandho, makuru yatnam vigraha sandho, why do you need to accumulate unnecessary connections? And the more the followers, the bigger the celebrity you are. That is the way world thinks of you. You put a post and nobody likes it, that's it, you're in depression that day. Nobody watched my post, nobody clicked the like on it, nobody gave me a thumbs up. What is this? There was a joke I was telling that one husband found his wife cheating on him and started fighting with her. She said, why are you fighting with me? No, there is another man who is tracking your Instagram, always giving likes to you. She said, no, that is I only who created another profile because nobody was liking my profile, so I only created a fake profile and I'm liking my own posts. The madness of it. Why put so much of efforts in collecting unreal, collect the real, put efforts behind it, I am happy. Gathering the unreal, where is the sense in it? Why are you spending away, wasting away such a precious human life and such amazing opportunity in this institution, and with such effort? Just now explain the amount of efforts being put to take care that you are on the spiritual path. It is tremendous. No guru, no ashram, no spiritual organization in the history of humankind has ever done this or would do this in the future also. Now, bhuto na bhavishyati, that is how it is. Why all this? So that you can go after vidya and avoid avidya, that's all. But after giving you internet connection and laptops and phones and access to social media, you use all this to gather avidya, then it's all a wasted effort, right? Why should we spend hundreds of crores to run these institutions if only you are going to run behind the same avidya at the end of it all? It's not, this is all given to enhance your effectiveness, enhance your productivity, save you your time, help you learn better. But if you spend hour, 2 hours every day in making faltu friends on the internet and making friends from unknown people, we don't even know half of them are real people on the internet. They're fake ones. How many girls have been duped? You have no idea. Because of these fake people who come online and say, I love you, I like you, this. And you know, these people, oh, somebody loves me in this world, as if nobody was loving you here. And then you end up in wrong affairs. And I'm not saying this happened within the institution. I'm not giving you examples from theory. I had to deal with those cyber crimes. I had to deal with this cyber bullying. We had to deal with these cyber extortions. Our IT team, our HR teams had to work with cyber police to save these children who got into this mess. So then we started a program, please teach every single child how to use responsibly. Though we had told them all these things, but who listens? Till you burn your finger, you don't learn. So many children lost their character. So many children lost their opportunity to study here. So many have lost the focus of being here. Many left because they could not face the institution or people again after all this mess. But every time this happened, as a father, I had to go out and protect them, call our HR people to talk to the cyber police and stop this fraud, and then help these people recover either financial losses or photos or videos that they have shared unnecessarily, which is now being used to blackmail the same people. All these our children have done. Somebody else would have given up saying, why should I work for these people who do not even appreciate what we are doing? Let them go to hell. Anybody would have given up. But I have not given up. I'm still working, trying to see if more children can be saved, protected, cared for. Why? Because I'm so interested in your spiritual welfare. If I'm not interested, I wouldn't have done this. So this one desire binds me. Despite the setbacks, failures, and all the time, you know, this kind of mess. Because every batch does this. One batch, at least in one batch, some people will be there who will do that. So batch after batch after batch I have to deal with. It's like a farmer. Every crop there will be some rotten apples. We have to clean that up and continue. So year after year my job is this only. Only faces and names change. Acts remain the same, more or less. So I'm now used to it. First I used to get very angry and shocked. Why these people would do this? But now I realize this is how it will be. There will be some rotten apples. But to clean them up and preserve the rest, protect the rest, that is how it will go on. But for that sake, if I withdraw all the facilities, no internet, no laptop, no phones, nothing for you, go back to your old ways, then you will suffer because you cannot be productive, you cannot do your job well. But having given all these resources, which has been given to you at a huge cost to the institution, you misuse it, it is unfair. And why this misuse is happening? Avidya, wrong understanding, wrong desires, wrong action. So spirituality is the solution to everything at the end of the day. If you are very spiritual, somebody wrote me recently, how to keep myself motivated. One day I am motivated to follow this, second day my motivation disappears. I said, if your purpose is very clear, the purpose is your motivation. My purpose is clear, to help you grow spiritually. That is my motivation. So if your purpose is also clear, that you also want to grow spiritually, you will also be motivated. But your purpose is not clear to you. One day it is spiritual, other day it is worldly. One day is vidya, another is avidya. That is why this suffering, no? That is why this suffering. What can we do about it? So the idea is that the more spiritual you are, the lesser you will be in these kind of troubles, because you are very convinced that this is avidya only. Why run behind shadows? They are not real. So you will stop chasing these shadows. Next shloka is, where was I? The next shloka is on page number 90, which says, Alamarthena kamena sukritena api karmana ebhya sansara kantare na vishrantam bhoon manaha. Which means, Alama, enough. Enough of this running behind arthena, kamena. Enough of running behind this wealth and desires. Ashtavakra says, enough is enough. How long? For lives after lives you have tried to run behind these things. Every time it has been destroyed at the end. You have only came back empty-handed. Again this birth, why do you do? Enough. Alamarthena kamena. Enough of this running behind desires and wealth, all kinds of wealth. Sukrutena api karmana, but not just, even behind good deeds don't run, he's saying. Sukruta karmana. No, I want to go to this temple, I want to go to this pilgrimage, I want to go to Kailash Mansavar, I want to go and do this much of pradakshina, that many namasmarana, that many chanting. All these also is nonsense, Ashtavakra is saying. So he's saying, yes, running behind the desires and wealth is nonsense, but trying to do good deeds and feel good about it, that I have donated so much, I saved so many people's life, I protected these many girls. That concept of doing good also is nonsense, because a lot of people are stuck in that. They think they are doing good because they are helping people, but that is out of ego only, of some kind of attachment only. So that also is no good, he says. Sukrutena api karmana. Enough is enough. How long will you go on running behind temples and pilgrimages and sadhus and sannyasis? And enough is enough. Calm down, be quiet. And he says, Ebbhya samsara kantare. In this forest of the world, samsara kantara, in this wilderness of the world, na vishrantam bhudmanaha. This mind will never find rest. In this wilderness of the samsara, which is very attractive, some nice river here, another waterfall there, nice trees here, fruits there, flowers there, sometimes dark night, then angry animals and fear of darkness. All this is wilderness of samsara. Good days, bad days. Enough is enough. How long you will do? Life after life you have done the same thing. This life also do you want to do again? Is the question he is asking. Because mind will not find rest in this wilderness. When long back in 2012-13 I used to stay in Bangalore, Bhagwan used to come and talk to me. That time he told me, long back, 2013 itself, he told me that one day you will be a guru. What your role is that of a guru. I didn't believe, because that time I did not even understand what was going on. It was too early for me. So he told, one day you will be a guru, that is your job. And that job is, think of you and your friends have gone to a nice forest for picnic by the river, enjoyed the whole day, eaten, played games in the water and had a good fun. And then now it's time to return home because it's getting dark. You realize that you are a alert person. You can foresee the trouble that will come if it becomes dark. So what do? You return early. Whereas even after calling, your friends don't give up playing in the river. They don't pack their things and they are not ready to go. But you have already gone back. And after you go back and cross the forest and you come out, you look behind and see none of them followed you. None of them came. Then you realize, oh, they all will be stuck in the forest, and in the dark they won't even know how to get out of it. I don't know how many of you have ever got stuck inside the forest. You've been to a forest and lost your way. Anybody has experienced that? I have experienced that. Anybody here? I have experienced that. Anybody who got inside the forest and did know how to get out of it? Very few. They will fully appreciate what I am telling. Because once I got lost in the forest. Chhattisgarh is all forest, right? So we go for picnic. And the road was just 100 meters away, but you can't see because the terrain is like that, only trees and trees. So you mark here and you say, okay, I'll somehow find. And you end up with the same tree with the same mark. Because the forest is such a confusing place. Everything looks same. You have to be lost in the forest to appreciate this shloka, Samsara Kantara. I was lost when I was a kid. Therefore I know. I had gone with my schoolmates to the river near our town. It was not very far. But once we get inside, you're only 12-year-old, 15-year-old or something. A fixed 7 of us. We played all day long. In the evening we were coming back. They went off little ahead. I was happily roaming, watching this, watching that, and lost the way. After that, I did not know how to get out of the place. I started crying, did not know which tree to mark and where to go. So I was trying to remember the path. You just can't remember. And then I almost sat down in dejection and depression and anxiety that this is already getting dark. Just then a truck passed by. It was hardly 100 meters from the main road. But you don't know, you don't see the road. When the truck passed, because we were in the mining area, the bauxite trucks would go. So one of the last trucks must be going back from the mines to the factory. Luckily I saw that truck, heard the noise and ran perpendicular and found the main road. And then I followed the road and came out. But I was lost once, so I know the fear that grips your being when you realize you're lost. Terrible. So this is what he's saying. In this wilderness of the forest of the world, you will be lost chasing these kind of wrong things. So Bhagavan told me that time, as a guru, your job would be to have compassion for those fools who did not listen to you when you were telling them, let's go home, it's getting dark. Still, you cannot give up on them, you cannot abandon them, you cannot forsake them. Have compassion, go back tracing, because you know how to go out of it. So go back for them, and now who they are sitting there and crying and lamenting their fate, give them hope and show them the way out of the forest. That is your job in the future, is how we define my Sadguru job. In 2013 he told me. Of course I did not understand then, but now I understand that. So he says, Ashtavakra says, in this world enough is enough. You are playing and playing and playing in that forest, running behind butterflies and birds, and playing in the river and enjoying. Enough, get up now, let's go back. Otherwise you will be lost in this samsara kantara, in the wilderness of the world. You will be lost. It all looks very nice during the daytime when sun is shining bright. Once the sun sets, the same forest looks terrible. It's very scary. Before such a time happens, enough, stop all this running behind pleasures and get out of this forest of samsara by following the path of spirituality. Because mind will never find rest in the forest of the world. So run away, he's saying. Let's go back. Then the next one, next sloka 10.8 says, Kritam na kati janmani kayena manasa gira dukkha mayasadam karma tad adya uparamyatam. He says, Kritam na kati janmani, for how many lifetimes have you not done the same nonsense of running behind things? Is it the first time that you are doing? No, not at all. How many lifetimes you have been doing Kritam na kati janmani, how kayena manasa gira, through your body, mind and words. Kaya, vacha, manasa, we say, thought, word and deed. Through your thought, word and actions. How many lifetimes have you not done the same futile running behind the world? You have done it many times. This is not the first time, so don't get too excited about it. And he says, Dukkha mayasadam karma. This action in the world, any kind of action is what is its nature? Dukkham. It leads to sorrow only at the end, because expectations are there behind every action. So it leads to sorrow, and ayasadam, tiredness. It is a burden, it is an effort, it will tire you at the end of it. That is what will be the fate of all the actions that you perform using a thought, word and deed. It is body, mind and speech. And therefore, rise above this. Cease, desist from it, at least now. He is telling Janaka that you have done this running behind the world for many lifetimes. When was it that you did not do it? Tell me. You used your body, mind, your speech to engage with the world, to interact with the world, to try to enjoy the world. This you have done so many lifetimes. This is not the first time. So, ultimately, what did you experience? Dukkha mayasadam karma. All actions lead to sorrow and tiredness, a burden. That's why I say, spiritual life is effortless. Worldly life is full of effort and burden. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. That kills you at the end. Whereas the spiritual life is, I am neither the doer nor the enjoyer. Things happen as they are divinely destined to be. That life is very simple and free. But so far Janaka has led lives, or we all have led lives, which are bound, running behind the impermanent. And we have got tired of it. We have got sad at the end. But unfortunately we have forgotten. In the next life we again get excited and restart the same process. So he's saying, when was that you did not run behind these things? Is this the first time you're running behind these things? Not at all. Give up this pursuit of the world, because it has only led you to sorrow and a sense of burden. And earlier we had used the word samsara vahikai, as if he's carrying the samsara on his head. That is how a samsara vahika is. A samsari, a worldly person, is somebody like a laborer who is carrying a huge load on his head. That is his life, full of burden. Don't I see so many people? I know they are all good people, good parents, good people. At the end, they are always full of expectations. When expectations are not fulfilled, they feel the burden. Why did I do this? I should not have given this thing to him. I should not have done this for my own children. How much I did for them? What did they do in return for me? How much they suffer? How much they suffer? That is the burden. Burden is suffering, which is unnecessary, he is saying, because you are so entangled in the world and you are running behind wrong things, so you are suffering. Because it doesn't exist at the end. Remember, Kasturi Mruga is there, the deer, musk deer. What does it do? It searches for his scent. It keeps running all around the forest like a mad animal. It does not know where the scent is coming from. Finally gets tired. Ayasadam dukkham karma. After doing all this karma of searching for that scent, finally it gets ayasa. It means gets tired, gives up, and settles down in a place. And the moment it settles and its head turns towards its navel, it realizes it is coming from me. So this chase for the happiness in the world tires you. Because there is no real happiness in the world. The scent was not in the world. The happiness is only with you, within you. Only if you turn within and not run behind the external. That is the idea he is saying. Running away from action is not what he is saying. Running away from wrong action, born of wrong desires, born of wrong knowledge is what he is telling, would lead you to burden and sorrow at the end. The right action born from right desire and right knowledge will not lead to. But even here is a Sukrita Karmana, going to temples, doing this many worships. I see, you go to Tirupati, how many people come to Tirupati temple, climbing so many hills. As I said the other day, even on knees they climb and come. They do Anga Pradakshina, they do all kinds of things, they hurt themselves. Why? Their desires, they have some desire. They have not come there to show their gratitude. Their desire should be fulfilled. They torture themselves to such an extent that the God's heart should melt, seeing our pain and say, okay, I will grant you whatever you are asking. How many Rakshasas have done how much tapas, Hiranyakashipu to Ravana to everybody, tortured themselves, but got the boon at the end from God. Such karmanas are no good, he is saying. Though it sounds like you are doing tapas and austerity and bhakti, it is all desirous, full of desire. Such a bhakti also stop now, enough of these running behind things. Many people I tell, I am doing this workshop, come here. They say, I would have definitely come, but we have a tradition. For last 100 years we have been doing puja and we are doing this, we are doing that. I told you, enough. 100 years I did, no need anymore, come. But they won't come. They won't come. They're scared. If they don't do that puja, maybe the God will get angry and then punish them. Even if I tell them, no, nothing will happen, you come here, doesn't matter. They won't come. They're stuck with this idea of doership, even of worships. That also becomes a doership. That is how mind is. It gets stuck to the action because it likes being active. It likes being busy. It likes being stimulated. It likes being excited. Mind's nature is like that. Ask it to calm down and sit down. No, it won't. It doesn't like it. It wants to keep jumping from one to the other like monkey. Bhagavan is saying, body is a water bubble, mind is a mad monkey. Do not follow the body, do not follow the mind. That is how it is. Mind is monkey, it will keep jumping from tree. It cannot sit in one place and rest. That is why it will be running from like monkeys in the forest, jumping from one tree to the other. Like that, this mind in the forest of the world jumps from one tree to the other for new excitements, new experiences. But it is never done with it. It is never done with it. Even in the end of our lives, it still desires for something because of which we are born again. And then we continue the same pursuit like a monkey. So enough is enough, he's saying, alamarthena kamena, enough, put an end to this non-stop nonsense of running behind the world. Enough is enough. Stop it now, he's telling to Janaka. So that is the idea that it is a message to us, it is not a message to Janaka, it is a message to us, enough is enough, stop it now. That is how we should end our pursuit of the worldly things. And this goes on, as I said, this is very difficult to believe in because you don't experience it. See, spirituality is just the reverse of science. In science, you experiment, you postulate, you create a theory, a postulation, and then you work on an experiment, then you repeat the experiment under different times, and once it is a reliable experiment, you have a result, then you believe that it is proven theory. There is a method to science. Spirituality is the reverse. You first have to believe that it is true. Why? Because somebody else has experienced it. So many people have experienced it. It is written in our scriptures. My guru has told me. In so many ways, this experience is real. Now I will start working on it, follow step by step, whatever it takes to reach there, and I will also experience it. It's the other way around. It's not a theory that you are proving here. It is a proven fact. It's a proven truth that you are trying to experience now. That is why spirituality is a very subtle subject. And it is not the regular way of how mind does its work. So not many takers for spirituality because it's a different type of knowledge system. It requires a different approach altogether. And that approach is not the approach that we apply for science and maths and humanities and other worldly subjects. It is a different approach. Here the knowledge is already there. You have to unearth it through a process of purification. That's all it is. If you remove all that dust and dirt, the mirror is clean, you can see the reflection. That is how it is. But to believe that there is a mirror there in the first place, it takes faith, because you can't see it right now. So that is the idea. The spirituality is a different approach. It is the reverse approach of science, and because our mind is only made in a such a way that it can only think logically, scientifically, rationally, finds it very difficult to believe in spirituality. That is why I say uneducated people are far better. They believe very quickly. Of course, it can lead to superstition, that is the side effects. But otherwise, they can believe in God very easily, because they're not so educated. That's why if you see in old times also, all our grannies, grandmothers, mothers, they were very big believers in God, because most of them are not very educated. These educated men had problems, because they started losing logic. They cannot understand this. So women had a natural tendency to believe in things, because their mind was not stuffed with ideas of the world. So it was a natural thing for them to believe. That's why they actually held the spiritual fort in every family. The women kept the spirituality and religion alive. Others did not. I used to argue with Amma also when I was small. When God is there, why should people have trouble, this and that? But she would, even before going to her office at 9, before that she has to cook breakfast for us and also pack our lunch boxes all by herself. And many times this maid servant won't come. So also clean the vessels and clean the kitchen, everything in the morning. Within that 2 hours, there will be like a war going on. After that, still she will find to go have bath and light a lamp and do some prayers. I used to get very irritated, saying that how is God helping us? Why are we praying? And where is God? How do we know God exists? She would simply say, for everything that is created, there has to be a creator. Without a creator, nothing can come into existence. So for all this world, you, me, everybody, there has to be a creator. And that creator is God. Simple, no arguments after that. So she had her faith and belief. It came naturally to women because they were not so logically. Their mind itself is differently made. But more importantly, their logic, scientific, this kind of approach, they don't apply too many times. They generally think from the heart. So it's easy for them. But what a pity that they never had access to scriptures, they never had access to Gurukulam, they never had access to all these rishis, very little access. But now you have everything, all the access. So use it better. Stop alamarthena kamena, alam Instagramena, Facebookena. Enough. How long? Same thing. 2018 I have to repeat, 20 I have to repeat, 22 I have to repeat, 26 I'll repeat. Until I am alive and you are alive, I think I'll keep repeating this. That is my plight. I am hoping that your generation will behave in a way that next generation will pick it up from there and they'll know this is the culture, that is how it works. 1 or 2 people I understand in every. Batch after batch I cannot deal with. Recently one full batch of people were using their laptops. They downloaded music and film songs and films and put it on their laptops, and you know what they did? They put icons of Shiva, Rama, so that teachers will think it is some bhajan or something. That kind of criminal mindset in our students. Some of them, not all. But one batch fully got spoiled because one started, they found the trick. This is the way we can never be caught. They're intelligent fellows, you know. They're generally more intelligent than the rest. Each taught the other the trick. And where is this internet available? Because internet is very restricted. In library, they did not control, or somewhere, someplace in the institute. They used that. And when one learned how to download and hide it behind a God's photo, imagine in spiritual organization cheating God. That's why it's a दुनिया वाले तेरा बनकर तेरा ही दिल तोड़ेंगे, सुख में तेरे साथ रहेंगे, दुख में सब मुंह मोड़ेंगे, अरे देते हैं भगवान को धोखा, इंसान को क्या छोड़ेंगे? They won't leave. They cheat God. Human beings, when become selfish, they cheat God himself. Will they spare men? Recently in Tirupati, one news came out that how a clerk had amassed crores and crores of rupees from the donations. Some security guard saw after 24 years of working there, nobody caught him for 24 years that he had cheated and stolen so much of money. And one security guard saw in a camera some kind of a behavior which he felt suspicious about, reported, and it was found that he had amassed crores of rupees from the hundi. भगवान को धोखा दे देते हैं लोग, why? Because they are so desirous of the world. You tell me, Bhasmasura, he prayed to Shiva, got the boon that whosoever head he places his hand, they will turn into ash. Bhasmasura. And then what does he do? First he wants to try it on Shiva only. Look at that is what is Rakshasi Pravritti. Even if you do good to them, they will do bad only to you because they are Rakshasas. There cannot be another way for them. Give them everything for their good. Ultimately, they'll use that to harm you only. That is the Rakshasa Buddhi. So in students, it should not come. That's why I said brahmacharya, draw the line. What is allowed, what is not allowed. What is allowed, stick to that. Not allowed, don't go that side. It is simple. That's why just follow your dharmas and you will be free from all unnecessary things. Because you may get excited thinking this is the first time you are doing this in your life. No. Lives after lives after lives we have done this. And we are still doing it. That is why saying alamarthena kamena. Enough, stop this running behind artha and kama. And now at least turn towards God and do the right things. In an environment which is so spiritual, so good, so conducive for one's finally one way to get out of this samsara chakra. But if you're not convinced because you don't experience it, and you cannot have faith in the Guru and the scriptures, then nobody can help you, even God can't help you. That is why remind yourself day after day after day the opportunity and contemplate Kuru Punya Mahoratram Smaranitya Manityatam. 4 steps. Tyaja Durjana Sansargam. Give up the company of the bad, which naturally happens because you are in a place where mostly people are good. Bhaja Sadhu Samagamam, which has also happened, be in the company of noble people, spiritual people. Kuru Punya Mahoratram. Do good day and night. That is a natural thing here. Unless you want to do bad, there is no reason why you should do bad here. Naturally you will do good here because everything has been designed like that. And Smaranitya Manityatam. Remember what is real and what is unreal, what is true, what is untrue, what will ultimately lead you to permanent peace and what will destroy it. Continuously contemplate on it and then get yourselves convinced and act towards it. That's it. So stay away. Too much of social media is no good. As I said, social media, internet access, all these facilities at high costs are given to you only to enhance your knowledge and skills. Yes, some healthy, positive entertainment I do not mind. But taking it to the other side and making bad relationships, collecting friends and enemies, both sides, boys and girls, and then getting into all kinds of emotional troubles, losing your focus, spending all the energy on things which are not necessary, and wasting all your time and resources of the institution. How fair is it, you tell me? How fair is it? It's not fair at all. So that is why this spiritual knowledge is important, because I know that this generation needs that. Many of them have not been raised this way in their family, so they don't know what is right, what is wrong. So we are telling you. But to follow it or not, it is in your hand. I can only take the horse to the water. Beyond that is not in my control. So to that extent, we are doing whatever is possible. But as I said, if you go on repeating this, then one day, good people will stop doing good. Because they will be fed up saying, there's no point, this world is useless, let us leave it here it is, let people suffer their fates. Good people, once they stop doing good, there is no scope for the world. The world is still in one piece, one shape. It's because there are good people who have not given up goodness despite all the challenges. That is why the world is still what it is today. If they also give up, what will happen? Once I asked Bhagwan, you are an avatar, you came, but still the world is in such a bad shape. What effect was there that you came all the way and doesn't look like nothing much happened? He told, imagine if I also would not have come. Then I got my answer. I don't know about the world. What about me? I would have been a different person if he was not there in my life. So also our life. So the answer is simple. Good people are there, so the world is even in what shape it is today. But let us not push good people to their limits and make them feel it is not worth doing good anymore. That should not happen. So we should be kind to kind people. We should respond to goodness with goodness. And even if our mind makes us run behind the wrong things, we must have the sense of responsibility to avoid that and engage with what is right. And then only all these scriptures will make sense. Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya says very clearly, those who have tivrata in their mumukshutvam, tivra mumukshutvam, he says, they have very strong desire for liberation, or to them only all these things make sense. Those who have mild desire for mumukshutvam, it is like chasing water in a desert, like you see that mirage. They appear to be very spiritual, they appear to be engaging in all activities, but deep down they are not doing anything. They won't progress, he says. Unless this desire for liberation is very strong in you, you don't benefit from all these lectures. You benefit only when the desire has become very strong in you. Otherwise, for those who have mild desire, yeah, if happens good, if doesn't happen also fine. For such people, all these lectures are like the mirage in the desert, he says. It appears that they are learning, they are growing, they are improving, they are evolving, but they are actually not doing that. This has been my experience also. Many people who are not very sincere, they appear to be very good. They do all the things outer externally, all on time, dressed up, vibhuti, book, everything. But deep inside, nothing has changed. because they are not really desirous of this liberation. So develop that fine, sharp desire. Manushyatva, Mukshatva, Mahapurush Samshraya. Again, Vivek Chudamani, these are very rare to receive, to be born as human, to develop desire for liberation, and to be in the company of the wise ones. It is very difficult. So two things have been taken care of here, Manushyatvam and Mahapurusha Samshraya. Mumukshutva is your problem. You have to sharpen it. You have to hone it. You have to make it stronger. That is by continuous contemplation on the scriptural truths and believing in the words of the Guru. Have practiced any song? Which song? Okay. Mane Kattuvuruntu. Same idea from the scripture which says, enough houses people have built, they have taken loans, given loans, made wealth, made family, but at the end of it, have they been happy? That is the kind of vachana. Basavanna is it? Dasarapada. Okay.
ಮನೆಯ ಕಟ್ಟುವರುಂಟು ಮಡದಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಉಂಟು ಧನವ ಗಳಿಸುವರುಂಟು ಗಳಿಸದಿದ್ದವರುಂಟು ಮನೆಯ ಕಟ್ಟುವರುಂಟು ಮಡದಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಉಂಟು ಧನವ ಗಳಿಸುವರುಂಟು ಗಳಿಸದಿದ್ದವರುಂಟು ಮನೆಯ ಕಟ್ಟುವರುಂಟು ಧನವ ಕಟ್ಟುವರುಂಟು ಧನವ ಕಟ್ಟುವರುಂಟು ದಾನ ಮಾಡುವರುಂಟು ದಾನ ಮಾಡುವರುಂಟು ಋಣವ ಕೊಟ್ಟವರುಂಟು ಋಣವ ಕೊಟ್ಟವರುಂಟು ಋಣ ಮಾಡಿದವರುಂಟು ಮನೆಯ ಕಟ್ಟುವರುಂಟು ಋಣವ ಕೊಟ್ಟವರುಂಟು ಋಣ ಮಾಡಿದವರುಂಟು ಮಣಿಗಾರ ತನ ಇದರೊಳೆಂದಿಗೂ ಬೇಡ ಮಣಿಗಾರ ತನ ವಿದರೊಳೆಂದಿಗೂ ಬೇಡ ಮುನಿಗಳು ಸಹಿತವಾಗಿ ಮುನಿಗಳು ಸಹಿತವಾಗಿ ಮೋಸ ಹೋದರು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುನಿಗಳು ಸಹಿತವಾಗಿ ಮೋಸ ಹೋದರು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಗುಣಪೂರ್ಣ ಗುಣಪೂರ್ಣ ಚಲ್ವ ಗೋಪಾಲ ವಿಠಲ ಚಲ್ವ ಗೋಪಾಲ ವಿಠಲ ಗೋಪಾಲ ವಿಠಲ ಗುಣಪೂರ್ಣ ಚಲ್ವ ಗೋಪಾಲ ವಿಠಲ ನಿನ್ನ ಗುಣಚಿಂತನೆಯೋಳಿಡು ನಿನ್ನ ಗುಣಚಿಂತನೆಯೊಳಿಡು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕು ಗೋಪಾಲ ವಿಠಲ ನಿನ್ನ ಗುಣಚಿಂತನೆಯೊಳಿಡು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕು ಗೋಪಾಲ ವಿಠಲ गोपाल विठला ನಿನ್ನ ಗುಣ ಚಿಂತನೆಯೊಳಿಡು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕು ಸಾಕು
सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महित मंगलम सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महित मंगलम दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय सर्वलोकहितरदाय सर्वमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सदय हृदय राजिताय सुमन सदन शङ्कराय सदय हृदय राजिताय सुमन सदन शङ्कराय शरणमुक्तिकारणाय मोक्षमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सत्य साईनाथ प्रियाय सत्य प्रेम विग्रहाय सत्य साईनाथ प्रियाय सत्य प्रेम विग्रहाय नित्य शुद्ध निर्मलाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धव ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवमु पर्यन्तयु नीवे स्वामी पर्यन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशयना ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकाररूप ओजस्वियो साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेवा मंगल हारति अंधुको मंगल नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय